And starting lineups for today's game, we've got for the Badgers, number 11, Lauren Stewart, number 12, Devin Punick, number 13, Emily Mackay, number 22, Whitney Gorgeous, and number 23, Jessica Del Signor. And for the Mustangs, we got number 6, Caitlin Letty, number 8, Sarah Mallon, number 9, Kelly Molden, number 11, Rebecca Moss, and number 14, Amanda Anderson. Just finishing the pregame introductions. Just waiting for my partner here to get rolling.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Alumni Hall for this exciting OUA West women's basketball matchup between the visiting Brock Badgers and your hometown Western Mustangs. My name is Kevin Gordon alongside Chad Cowan this afternoon, bringing you all the exciting action from Alumni Hall on a truly special day here in London. Today we are celebrating the one-run event, and as you turn your attention to center court, you'll see that the ceremonial tip-off here is being provided by the main focus of our one-run campaign, London's own Teresa Carrier. Teresa, a breast cancer survivor who has undergone treatment, who is healthy at the moment and is engaging in a very significant endeavor in order to raise awareness and funds for the fight against breast cancer. On June the 25th, she will be running 100 kilometers from London to Sarnia, all in efforts to raise awareness and funds for the fight against breast cancer. And we are so terrifically honored to have Teresa on hand here today for this basketball matchup. Western controlling the opening tip, swinging around to Mallon in the corner. Anderson with the ball up high. Chad Anderson is a name we will be calling plenty today.
Amanda Anderson, she's a deadly three-point shooter, very accurate, running right around 40% for the season, and obviously a team leader, being in her 5th year with the team.
Amanda Anderson, certainly the star of the Western Mustang basketball operation. It's not something that you can really say for Brock. They don't typically have the 1 or 2 players that they're going to run their offense through. Number 22, Whitney Gorge, is certainly somebody that we will talk a lot about today and have the ball in her hands often. There's a long three taken up by number 13 for those Brock Badgers. That is Emily Mackay lifting the first one of the ball game. Fighting back here, Kelly Molden with the ball, swings to Anderson at the top. Anderson locked in against Mackay. Screen by Letty up top. Letty open on the roll. No pass in from Anderson. Swings it to Molden. Molden looking to be confident offensively. Lots of contact. Letty gets her hands on the offensive rebound. Puts it out to Moss. With no rim touch there, that is a 24-second shot clock violation. Chad, for our viewers who perhaps are unaware, perhaps you could inform some of our viewers the differences between the FIBA basketball that we're seeing in the OUA now as opposed to the traditional Federation basketball that we have grown up watching.
The biggest difference is the 24-second shot clock. You really can't run an offensive set per se. It's really just quick hitters. As you see here, Caitlin Letty coming up looking for a high screen and roll. Molden takes it hard to the basket, and Letty with the rebound. Just simple, fundamental basketball plays for quick hitters with weak side rebound positioning and the ability to kick the ball out if the help side comes.
When you talk about rebounding, let's give Caitlin Letty 2 offensive rebounds already. Lucas Product spent a year at the University of Guelph playing with the Griffins, now back to her hometown, suiting up for the purple and white. Brock ahead 5-0 in the early going, and that is an offensive foul, no basket. Lauren Stewart going hard to the rim, all 5'9", 50-year senior out of Hamilton, and she is whistled as Kelly Molden setting herself nice and early, accepting the contact and taking herself to the floor. Now you're going to see here pressure set up by Brock. Chad, we look at Brock's roster, not a starter over 5'10". Pressure certainly will likely be a main aspect of their game today.
Yeah, the main reason that they were able to take Windsor into overtime the other day was just their flat-out frantic pace that they run. So they'll be looking to push the ball like you see here. One quick pass, easy layup. Nice try in the reverse, but that's what we're going to see most of the day, and Weston's got to deal with that.
That was Mackay trying for the reverse, no finish there. Molden confident to the basket, takes the contact again. ball last touched by the Mustangs. Now that's something I know Coach Barry wants to see from Kelly Molden. She's a player with her speed, with her handle on the ball. She can create shot opportunities for herself. And in order to create the passing lanes sometimes, Chad, I know from your coaching background, you understand that having those passing lanes created is sometimes a function of being able to score yourself.
It is, and you really need to stay under control when she's driving the basket, knowing when the help side comes, and the ability to be able to kick it out if the double team comes.
Here is Mal with the ball at the top, took the handoff from Moss. Anderson now with the ball at the side. Letty, good post position on a mismatch, unable to work the ball in there. Letty did have number 13, Emily Mackay, on her backside. Mackay giving up a good 6 inches there. And speaking of giving up inches, coming into the ball game now, London product Lauren Parks out of Mother Teresa, and someone who you, Coach Chad, are very familiar with.
Yeah, Lauren Parks, a member of the Ramblers Basketball Club, of which I coach and run the club. So she's been a stalwart on this team. Very aggressive player, very skilled offensively.
And there we have a quick whistle from the side official. It was a 24-second shot clock violation right there that she had called, unable to see that the ball had glanced off the front part of the rim. Certainly something that Brock does not want to see. Those accidental calls right there cost Brock the chance to get out into transition, and that is something that they will want to feature as a main component of their offense today. Again, as we say, Brock, a smaller team, does not want to play quarter-court basketball with these Mustangs. Three-point attempt, no good. Letty with yet another rebound. Letty will be having a field day today as the tallest player on the court. Anderson on the side, dumps into Letty. Letty goes inside and out, takes the contact, no whistle right there. Anderson, nice backside cut, called that off the window for two.
Great, very good defense there by Lauren Stewart from the Badgers, but Letty able to recover and make a good cut or pass to the cutting Anderson.
Here is Mackay testing Molden. Puts it back up to Stewart. Stewart on the box out from Letty, no good. Mallon pushing the ball up the far sideline from our table. Good crowd on hand at Alumni Hall to see Lauren Parks take it to the basket softly with the right hand. Mustangs clawing their way back 5-4 the score. Brock ahead with possession right now. There is Gorgeous, leading scorer. Hands off to Stewart up top, back inside. Nice give and go right there between Stewart and Gorgeous. Gorgeous establishing position inside to receive the give back. Molden with the ball up top. Molden will be charged with having a good game today for these Western Mustangs if they are to be successful. Coach Barry knows, as we were talking with him in the pregame, that ball control and protection will be paramount. There is Amanda Anderson. Teardrop it with the right hand.
That's good. Anderson recognizing she had a speed advantage on number 22, Whitney Gorgeous, and was able to take it to the basket with a nice soft finish.
Once again, working against Molden is Mackay. Ball to the corner for Gorgeous one more time. Swing it back over. That's number 23, Jessica Del Signor, lifting the shot. Second-year player out of Brantford. Kunick with the ball, rotates it to Stewart. Eventually to Mackay in the corner, and Mackay decides to take a piece of the shot clock there. Ball out of bounds. Mustang possession and substitutions aplenty on both sides. One of the players coming into the ball game for the Brock Badgers wearing number 10, Britt Pegg, fourth-year player from Saskatchewan, 5'4", and I can tell you, Chad, she is an agitator out on that court. Spent some time in the OCAA playing with the St. Lawrence Vikings, and she is someone who is often found around the ball. So if she's out here and taking a forward position on the press here, I can imagine that we'll be talking about her during the next few defensive sets.
Looks like a little 1-3-1 zone press. Backing out into the man.
And that is Molden working against Gallinardo. Molden off to Parks. Parks doesn't like what she sees. Back to Molden. We'll see if they continue to look for that high screen and roll to play high size advantage. There is Parks against the aforementioned Peg inside. Unfortunately, Parks, good decision, taking it strong to the hoop when she has 7 inches. However, could not get the feet to keep up with the mind on that one. Traveling violation, turn it over.
And you'll see Brock do a lot of this. They're doing a lot of doubling in the post because they are shy on the size. They do need to have quick double teams, quick recoveries.
Badgers work the ball around the top. Ball fake from Peg. Swing it back up top for number 7, Hillary Woodside. Haley Neal on the court with Woodside. Woodside lifting the shot off the glass. The bank is open on a Saturday. 7-6. The Brock Badgers ahead. Less than 5 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Good pace to this ball game, Coach Chad. And would you say that pace favors the Mustangs or the Badgers at this point?
Well, I think because Western's a little short-handed today, I think it does favor Brock overall if they can keep pushing the pace. Because it looks like Coach Sy is going to be going 10 or 11 deep on his bench today.
And that pace planting problems both ways, pardon me, as both teams subject to the turnover on consecutive possessions there. Foul called on the Badgers on the side. That is only the second foul of this first half. 2 on the Badgers. Substitution for the Badgers coming back into the game, Jessica Del Senor. On the floor for the Mustangs, we have Stephanie Lundstrom with the ball out of bounds into Anderson. Molden at the top, Parks and Moss at the forward spots. Swing the ball over to Anderson. Anderson playing against the 5-4 peg. Pardon me, that's Parks against the 5-4 peg. Moss with the look from 3, no good. Lauren Parks going in and over the top, finds it, can't convert the offensive opportunity. Ball last touched by the Mustangs, and that's a situation there, Chad, where Lauren put herself in a position where perhaps could have induced a whistle from the referees.
Yeah, it's, Lauren just a little bit out of control there. You'd like to see her square her shoulders a bit more, going hard to the basket instead of more out of control. You're not likely to get a call from the officials when you look like you're out of control going into 2 people, at least from an official standpoint. You're not going to bail a kid out for being out of control.
For our viewers who do not know, Coach Chad Cowan wears many hats in the City of London in his many different roles in the basketball community. A qualified official here in the City of London with the London Basketball Board of Officials, president of the London Ramblers Basketball Club, as well as a coach with their novice program. So certainly someone whose expertise will be able to draw on a great deal today as we bring to you this action from Alumni Hall. Doubleheader action today, as we will feature the men's basketball game following the women's. There's another turnover by the Mustangs. Push that ball ahead to Peg. Peg gains the baseline, pulls it back out. One thing in transition, oftentimes you like getting that ball to the baseline. There's that 3 ball lifted by the Badgers. Hillary Woodside count it. Just to finish the thought, oftentimes you like to push the ball to the baseline to try and flatten the defense for a reverse pass. Seems to be the plan of action for the Badgers. Letty going strong with the left hand. Again, a little bit of contact, no call. Chad, I'll ask you to put yourself behind the whistle once again, if I could. When you see a player who has a distinct size advantage, such as a Letty going against 2 players right there, have you ever heard of any official ever being perhaps considerate to the fact, Amanda Anderson, deep 3 ball, considerate to the fact that these defenders have a severe disadvantage in height? Has that ever played into whether or not the whistle's blown?
No, it's if you're the aggressor, you're going to get the foul calls. If you're in control and you're aggressive, you'll get the calls. If you're out of control, or like Caitlin Letty did on her last drive, she faded away from the basket with a left-hand fadeaway, you're not going to get that call.
Rebounding aplenty for the Mustangs. The Mustangs taking a team approach. Speaking of Letty, here she goes again. Tries to get the ball up. No call right there, as it was a free ball she held out away from the body. That's one there you want to keep protected. You keep that in close and tight, you have a better chance of drawing contact. No contact there, no call. Substitutions once again for the Mustangs. And one of the players coming in here, Chad, for the Mustangs, seeing her first action, number 15, Becky Williams, another product of that terrific London Ramblers basketball program.
Yeah, and she's been coached by Marilyn Duhane both at the club and the high school level, who's an excellent coach in our program and the high schools, and Rebecca's filled a great role here for Coach Barry to start the year.
Anderson tries glass, no good. Offensive rebounding once again. That's Mallon underneath. Swings it around. Williams swinging to Anderson. Open in the corner is Moss. Little strong rebound to Sarah Mallon once again, hitting the deck. And unfortunately, rolling the shoulders, called for the travel.
I like the effort that Mallon's showing. She's going hard for that second chance rebound. Western with 3 opportunities there. They'd really like to cash on one of them. 10-9 game right now. Western really has had an advantage. Brock's just happy settling for the outside threes. If they start dropping, Western could be in some trouble.
We'll really look forward to seeing those quarter stat reports here. The offensive rebounding for the Mustangs, certainly an advantage. However, the field goal percentage on both teams has to be in those low 30s at best right now. Moss walks into the travel right there, looking for contact, didn't get it soon enough. Travel violation.
That's just a case of Rebecca trying to do a little too much. Stepping outside her responsibilities. Take 1 or 2 dribbles, see the help, see where it comes from, make the pass to where the help came from, and get an easy basket.
This is Stewart at the top, one of those veteran leaders. Letty able to alter the shot there. Amanda Anderson breaking out, 3-on-2 Mustangs, put it to the wing for Mallon, sets her feet, pop and drop. There it is, 2 for the Mustangs. Back in control, 11-10, just over a minute to play in this frenetic pace here to the first quarter.
And that's the difference. Amanda Anderson recognizes the help, finds the open man for an easy basket.
Williams with the rebound, able to break back. When your guards are rebounding, you have an excellent opportunity for transition basketball. She is double teamed there in the Coffin corner by Peg Ann Woodside. One of them whistled for the Badgers' third foul of this first quarter. Just to finish a thought there on Becky Williams, if I could, Chad, talking to Coach Steph Barry before the game, I asked Coach Barry, it's getting to the time of year where we start to look at postseason balloting in terms of awards, individual honors, recognitions, that sort of thing. Coach Barry, as one would expect, very quick to mention that's just something that is not on the radar of either himself, his coaching staff, or these players, as it is something that is completely out of their control. They let the voters worry about that. However, he did mention that Becky Williams, while she's having a very strong year, not just for a rookie, and there's a big rejection by number 8, that is Kayla Schertl. Not only is she having a good year as a rookie in the OUA West, good season for any player, but she still has a long way to go because he feels her potential coming out of the Ramblers program and that terrific coaching that you mentioned earlier, feels her potential is limitless at this point.
Becky's always been a team leader on any team that she's played on, and it doesn't surprise me that she started off with a bang in her freshman year. Just a great, really coachable kid, great teammate, and works extremely hard to be the best that she can.
37 seconds left here in the opening quarter, 24-second shot clock here. We'll see if the Mustangs go 2 for 1. Anderson gains the front court. Double high set for the Mustangs. Peeling off that screen is Anderson. Quick look on the fadeaway with the jumper is good. Anderson off to a good start today. 13-10 Mustangs. Shot clocks are off here. Badgers could hold for last possession. Stewart likes what she sees. A little up fake, gets by her man, takes it hard to the basket for contact. She'll take a trip to the line for a chance at 2.
Yeah, and that's Lauren Parks. She's either got to step in the lane, take the charge, or just get out of the way and get ready to rebound. It doesn't do any good just reaching one hand in, trying to deflect the shot. You're going to get that foul call almost every single time.
Free throws for the Badgers, certainly one of their strong points, and we'll have a chance to look at how the Badgers and the Mustangs match up head-to-head as we come out of our break in just a few minutes. But as Lauren Stewart heads to the line for those Brock Badgers, looking at her stats as she converts right there, she is up there on the team in terms of her scoring, averaging almost 11 points a game. Anderson with the ball. Under 10 seconds to play. Parks at the top, takes a screen, rejects a screen from Letty. Going left side, spin to the middle, up. No good is the basket, but the trip to the line is coming for Lauren Parks with only 4 seconds to play.
Lauren doing a good job recognizing that the double was coming. Went to the middle of the key as opposed to fading away and made a strong move. Got hit on the arm on the way up, almost got the finish. Now would like to convert her 2 free throws.
Parks, no stranger to the free throw line. She does lead the team in attempts. However, she is down in the middle to lower end of the pack at only 65% on the season. Missing the first one. Chance to extend this to a 3-point Mustang lead. No good on the second. Stewart with a chance to push. Up to Kunick. Kunick gaining the middle. Launches the prayer, and it counts! And Devin Kunick of the Brock Badgers sends this crowd back to their seats and sends us into the break with the Badgers in front, 14-13. We'll take a break, but come on back and join us for second quarter action here on Rogers TV. No, not a worry. Well, we could do it with the, well, I'm easy. Whatever you like. Sure. welcome back to Alumni Hall. Second quarter action on the way. 14-13 the score in favor of the Brock Badgers after Devin Kunick hit a long three ball, a good 10 to 12 feet outside of the three-point arc. Back to live action as we see here in front of us. That is on the left side of your screen in the pink hat, Teresa Carriere. That is the woman that we are here honoring today. She is the one who is the one-run champion, the one-run survivor. One run, one woman, 100 kilometers on the day. And it is certainly something that we are all so supportive of here at Rogers TV and across London. Congratulations, Teresa, on such a terrific event that has been put together here in honor of your endeavor to raise awareness and funds for breast cancer. Back alongside Chad Cowan here for second quarter action. And we've got the first quarter stats under our belts, and as we expected there, Chad, shooting percentage, not anything that either team is really going to be pleased with. Lots of opportunities both ways, both teams getting 15 shots up in the quarter, but not converting. Now, what we're going to take a look at here with our head-to-head stats before we get it back into our first quarter analysis, we take a look at offensive, and we're talking about offensive teams here getting their shots up. You see those production stats there, the per-game averages. Brock outscoring Western on a per-game basis, and you take a look also at the points allowed. Both teams allowing just over 60 a game. The rankings relative to the OUA presented on the left side there, so you know that with two teams so close in their statistical categories, it's going to be a battle here today to see which team actually executes. And it is the Brock Badgers continuing the hot streak. Two early baskets, 18-13 the score right now. Molden with the ball coming up in front of our scorers table here. Letty with the ball up top against the much shorter Mackay. Mallon with the ball high to the left. We're looking back at those first quarter stats. Molden with the ball, shot clock winding down, 5 seconds. Ball goes inside the Letty. Back out to Molden for the three with no time on the shot clock. Molden converts.
Excellent ball movement by the Mustangs there. Letty realizing she was triple teamed in the post. Not much shot clock, but very poised to get it back out to Molden for the wide open three.
Tries to answer back to the Badgers. No good there. Ball rotated around the top. There's Kunick, the one who had the long three already. The Badgers only 3 of 8 in that first quarter in terms of 3 shot attempts right there. And speaking of 3 of 8, try to make it 4 of 9 right there. The Brock Badgers finding an easy go of it here against the Nets at Alumni Hall.
And I think Western's tentative because they don't want to close out on the shooters too much because they are so quick. But as Molden goes to basket two, they are so quick that they don't want them to go easy layups. You'd rather have the outside shot, but if they keep hitting at this pace, they're going to have to make an adjustment.
Molden using her speed to get inside there, and that was gorgeous, no good. Parks with the rebound. Taking a look at the offensive rebounds, you mentioned that was a storyline in that first quarter. 4 offensive rebounds for the Mustangs in that opening stanza. That was Lundstrom rotating the ball through Mallon to Molden. Molden with the ball up top. Does not take the screen from Letty. Parks in the corner. One-on-one with Gorgeous. Takes her to the middle. Right hand over the top. Count that one for a pair.
Lauren's got that nice little fake drop step. Move to the middle with a nice easy floater. That's worked twice for her. She's going to keep going until they start bringing the help from the weak side.
Talking to Coach Barry before the game, I had to ask him, who do you look for to have a good game today? There is Gorgeous answering with the 3 ball for Brock. Coach Barry said the player who really needs to step up for us today, given the matchup, given the height advantage we have, is Lauren Parks. She's a girl that if she can get going, light a little fire under her, we know that we are in for a smooth ride today. Badgers doing their best to put some bumps in the road, and there is turnover against Letty. Kunick getting her hand in. Mackay going hard to the net. Mallon ties her up, gets called for the hold. And we will have Mackay going to the line for a pair. 3 substitutions each way for both teams, including Anderson, Moss, and Williams coming in for the Mustangs. And here we have a timeout being called by Western. That'll give us a chance to look at those head-to-head stats one more time here. As we look through, we talked about free throw shooting in that first quarter. Free throw certainly will be a story here as you look at the bottom of your screen. The Brock Badgers creating plenty of opportunities for themselves as they are shooting over 70% on the season. The Western Mustangs, perhaps in part a function of, as we mentioned, Lauren Parks getting to the line so often, only converting 65% of her free throws. As a team, Western only shooting 67%.
Yeah, and when you look at the head-to-head numbers there. You see Brock with being such a small team and pushing the ball ahead. They're going to score more points. They're not going to be looking to shut down. They're going to be scoring more points.
If you're into a game against the Western Mustangs, certainly you know that they want to run. Brock Badgers, as Coach Cowan mentions, they want to run as well. I asked Coach Steph Barry of the Mustangs before the game, given that the Badgers do want to push the pace, is that something that factors into your game plan today? Are you going to continue to play to your strengths, which of course for the Mustangs is transition basketball and getting the three? And he said, you know, you got to dance with the girl that brung you. You got to make sure that if that's your strength, you make sure you maximize it no matter who your opponent is. The Mustangs like to run. They are going to run today, and it is certainly a great, not a contrast in styles, but a great similarity of styles that we're seeing today, and we'll just see who executes at the higher levels. We get a look at Mackay going to the line for a pair.
I think the biggest key right now, I believe Brock is now shooting 5 for 11 from the three-point line. That's close to 50%, so Western does have to do a better job of getting a hand in the shooter's face and discouraging the three-point shot each trip down the floor.
One final note on those first quarter stats. We felt like Amanda Anderson was having a great first quarter. Sure enough, 9 points for her in that opening stanza. There is Moss inside with the turnover. That was Woodside able to peel that ball away from her.
I think Western's really got to push it inside. They've got Lauren and Rebecca Moss out on the floor, and they seem to be standing still once the ball gets in. You don't want to be a spectator when you're on the floor in the offensive end. If you don't have the ball, you've got to cut, you've got to move, you've got to get yourself open looking for the basketball.
Ball out of bounds, possession to the Badgers right here as they get set for the offensive inbound opportunity. Ball right back to Gorgeous on the step in, and that is only a 2. Toes over the line, 2-point shot for Gorgeous. The Badgers starting to build a cushion for themselves here, 27-20, as head coach Steph Barry of the Mustangs looks on from the sideline, certainly a little bit perplexed, understanding that this just cannot continue for his Western Mustangs as their 9-2 record and second place ranking in the OUA West will be at risk here against these Badgers. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Anderson one-on-one against Pegg. Pegg able to get the hand on the ball for a clean block, and with no possession gained by either team. Shot clock violation called here. Turn that ball over to the Badgers.
And that's the third shot clock violation already for the Western Mustangs for turnovers. That's giving them 12 on the day so far. Too many turnovers if they want to make a point in this game to work their way back.
Air ball by the Badgers. Mustangs allowed to break. There is Williams in the corner, able to pick up the loose ball. And it looks like we will get the foul call against Woodside. Possession for the Mustangs on the end line. The Mustangs here in a 7-point hole, just over 5 minutes to play in the first quarter. And it is going to be up to the likes of Williams, Anderson, Molden to try to get something going, as it doesn't seem that the forwards for the Mustangs are having the success that one would expect against a smaller lineup. Letty and Moss and Parks in particular need to get going, but there's someone who's certainly feeling it today. Hillary Woodside, she has not been shy about putting the ball up this afternoon, finding some success for herself. Molden with the ball, watched closely there by Gallinardo. Moss up at the top, swings to Anderson in the corner, her bread and butter. And that hits rim twice, no good. Pegg able to throw it up ahead. Gallinardo over to Gorgeous. Gorgeous going against the smaller Williams. Williams! Some fans thought she had good position. The referees did not think so. Perhaps through the hip just a little bit as Gorgeous was coming up. Williams called for the foul. And Mallon set to check back into the game, replacing Williams.
As an official, that's the hardest call we have to make as officials too, is the bang-bang block charge call. Half the people in the stands aren't going to like you, the other half will, and that's the bottom line.
Well, the one thing about officiating, Chad, and I can tell you I certainly don't envy the position you're put in most days. I know my time on the sidelines, I was less than polite the odd time to an official, but one quote I'll never forget about officiating, it's from an old Major League Baseball umpire whose name escapes me, but the quote was, officiating is the only profession in the world where you're expected to be perfect the first day on the job and only get better.
Yeah.
Here is Molden with the ball at half court. Again, the Badgers with the pressure, nearly successful in creating the turnover. A little push from behind as she was walking into a 3-man trap and the Western Mustangs able to get the foul call inbound on the sideline coming. 2 fouls apiece here, team fouls apiece, pardon me, as we approach 5 minutes to play in the first half.
And Western looks very tentative right now. They're not sure where the ball's going. Brock's frantic pace has thrown them out of their press break a little bit, and they look to be just hesitating a little bit, which you can't do on the basketball floor. You just have to use your instinct, read and react, and attack the basket.
Molden prodding, no good, gets it off to Moss. Moss and Mallon running a curl, turnover as they try to force the ball inside. Here's Pegg up ahead, goes to the right hand, little razzle-dazzle under the hoop to avoid the block, give Pegg a pair.
That's a very athletic move from Pegg. Just a great job shielding the ball with the basket and make a nice reverse layup, going full speed down the floor.
Once again, Molden on the penetration. Nearly a turnover, however, a little contact leading to the loss of control. Whistle comes, Mustang possession on the end line, 3 team fouls on the Badgers, 4.5 to play here. And we talked about the FIBA rules a little earlier in the half. For those who are unaware at home, once a team has 5 team fouls against them in a quarter, Anderson with the deuce. Once you have those 5 team fouls in a quarter, you are able to get free trips to the free throw line. There is no bonus foul shooting as there once had been with the Federation rules. It is now a 2-shot penalty anytime there are 5 fouls on the team in a quarter. Here is Pegg with a clean look from 3, and the Mustangs will give that to her all day unless she keeps doing that right there, converting the opportunity that she got from downtown. Not something you necessarily expect from a Britt Pegg, but when given the chances, she is able to fill it up. Timeout called once again by the Western Mustangs. And we're going to take a look again at head-to-head stats between these teams. One thing that we can talk about here, Chad, is the rebounding battle. We've talked about the offensive rebounds the Mustangs have been able to generate. One thing when we talk rebounding Mustangs, the thing that we've been able to talk about the last couple of years is Bess Lennox, Western's all-time leading rebounder, who is no longer with the program, having graduated playing professionally in Australia and Europe, I do believe now as well. But with the Mustangs losing that, you can see the discrepancy in rebounding, no longer a severe advantage each game for them, and a lot more reliance on their guards to get into the mix, into the rebounding.
Right, and today even still, like 15 rebounds for Western, 8 for Brock, but Brock's now shooting 36% from the three-point line and 46% from the field, so not too many rebounds to get from Brock's standpoint. So Western's got a few offensive rebounds, a couple of defensive rebounds, but the biggest key to me right now is the turnovers. Western's got 12 turnovers versus Brock's 5, and anytime you give a team 12 extra chances to score, you're going to see scores like this where it's 35-22 for Brock halfway through the second period.
And when talking with Coach Barry before the game, I asked him, are you concerned about the possibility for turnovers this game? He said, Kevin, I'll be honest, I've been relatively satisfied this season that we have done a good job taking care of the ball. However, that is certainly the one opportunity the Badgers have to really make a significant game. There is, speaking of turnovers, a rare turnover for the Badgers. Ball in the hands of Anderson as she pushes up the court. Coach Barry knew the possibility was there. However, he was confident that his Chargers would step up and play the games they're capable of. And to this point, I don't think that we can say they're playing their best basketball. There is Letty. Inside, then out, left hand off the glass. Give her 2.
Nice job with the up and under for Letty. Strong move through the middle, through the double team, protecting the ball. Nice soft finish with the left hand.
Punic, no good. Parks double team, able to get the ball up the sideline. There is Letty with the ball in her hands. Hands off to Parks, who switches over to Anderson. Anderson calling for that screen, rejects it, gives it to Mallon in the corner, who beats her defender baseline, but loses control of the ball. Terrific defensive rotation from the Brock Badgers, scaring Mallon into that turnover.
And Brock, I think you mentioned the defensive rotation. Obviously, Coach Sy has his Brock Badgers understanding exactly what he wants to accomplish on defense with the rotations, lack of size, but double and triple team in the post, quick recovery to challenge the outside shots. Doing a great job playing defense. If they can keep up this pace, they should be in for a good day.
Pegg with a little poke and prod, able to get a shot up against its much taller Lauren Parks. No good. Anderson breaking back now for the Mustangs. Pushing the pace here. Letty able to establish great position. Finally the ball inside to her, working one-on-one against Punic. Double team comes, able to swing weak side. Mallon converts off just a terrific, intelligent possession by the Mustangs.
And that's the third time Letty's done that. She set up her man for a move inside. The double team comes, You recognize it, nice strong pass, quick shot, and no turnovers.
Peg with an air ball, more of what you'd expect, but a turnover underneath, and a double dribble called against Haley Neal of the Badgers there. Turnover for the Mustangs. Coach Barry imploring his charges to get chipping away at this lead with only 2:25 left to play, and the Badgers ahead by 9. The Mustangs certainly want to close the gap going into halftime. Speaking of halftime, make sure you stick around. There is a foul right there. A foul on Mackay as she had hugged up on the Mustangs player right there, not giving her any space. Referees saying she took the advantage and calling her for the foul. Just to finish the thought, make sure you stick around at halftime as we will feature here on Rogers TV a sit-down interview between myself and Teresa Carriere, she of the One Run campaign. Breast cancer survivor Teresa Carriere, familiar name in the London basketball circles, currently coaching with your London Ramblers organization, Chad, and just a wonderful, wonderful woman who is going to share with us some of her experiences, some of her advice, and certainly you will feel her love for the game of basketball coming through during our chat.
Just a great lady, a great role model for all the kids, not only her own kids, but the kids that she coaches, her friends, family, to be able to I can't imagine 1 kilometer, let alone 100 kilometers. So that's fantastic, and what a role model for such a lot of people.
And she has done a great deal of role modeling for a number of these women on the court for the Mustangs, many of them having been exposed to Teresa over the years through their involvement with the Ramblers, seeing her at tournaments and such. There is nice possession by one of those former Ramblers. Defensive stand there by Lauren Parks.
But not only with the Ramblers family, but also the John Paul II family in the high school, where all 3 of her girls have gone through the basketball program there with Miss P and now Mr. A. So it's just a great 2 families they have for basketball there.
1 minute, 36 seconds on the game clock right now. 3-second call on the Western Mustangs. That turnover will lead us into a timeout called by the Badgers right here. And Chad, we're having a chance now to look over some of the updated stats, and one of them really jumping out to you.
Well, 16 turnovers. It just goes to the fact that they're just hesitant. We've got 3 shot clock violations, a 3-second violation. They just, maybe, I don't know whether it's the magnitude of the game, and we have a pretty good crowd here today. Maybe they're just a little too pumped up. Maybe need to reel it in a little bit, stay within themselves, work with what Coach Barry has given them within their offensive system. Because when they do dump it in, inside out seems to be working very well. Dump it inside, look at where the help comes from, kick it out, make your 3, get back. It also gives you a chance to get back on defense. When you have turnovers, it's fast break heaven the other way for the other team.
And you are picking up that sound that we are, and that's the Western Marching Band here treating the fans. Also on hand today, you do see on the screen those Western cheerleaders, one of the best programs in the country, bar none. It doesn't matter what athletic team you're talking about. There are few, if any, that can rival the success of the Western cheerleaders, winning 24 of the last 25 national championships. Perhaps the only team in the country that can rival that level of success would be the men's squash team here at Western under head coach Jack Fairs, who have won, I believe, the last 26 consecutive national championships.
Just to build on the turnover factor, Western is shooting 48% from the field, which is a pretty good clip. You cut those turnovers down, they'll be right back in this game in no time. Turnovers being the key right now. Let's see how they do in the last minute and a half.
1 minute 30 and counting here at Alumni Hall. The Brock Badgers with possession, trying to extend their 9-point lead. The hold, the basket, and 1 free throw coming here for Mackay.
Mackay did a great job. Very athletic move, getting herself up in the air, holding up in the air until she got fouled, and being able to control the ball to finish for the N1.
And you look at Mackay, who for these Brock Badgers on the season, she has certainly found her way to the free throw line, averaging over 2, almost 3 free throw attempts per game, and she is at least there now, averaging 9 points on the season coming into the ball game. 12-point lead now for the Badgers after the 3-point play. Here is Molden. Molden coming around the top, letting good position inside. Anderson trying to work the ball in. But the Badgers, as you've alluded to, Coach Chad, the Badgers understand what the Mustangs want to do right there, and their defensive sets, as coached up by Coach Bundeset, he has really got these girls in the right spot right now. They're getting their hands on a lot of passes.
And he's substituting in and out. He's using his whole entire bench. And Western seems to be really only running about 7 deep. They got a couple injuries, a couple people not feeling great. So yeah, the more Brock can take the pace up, the better they're going to be in this game overall.
38-26 to score. 1 minute, 2 seconds left to play. 2-shot penalty is the situation for the Badgers, as they do have 5 team fouls. Caitlin Letty heading to the line for the Mustangs. Letty having herself a fair game already. Letty already with 3 assists, 3 boards, 2 points on the afternoon, but leading the way for the Mustangs is still Amanda Anderson with 11 points already in the ball game, going 5 of 8 from the field. Here is Letty. Lucas Grad lining it up. No good there, and the Mustangs certainly know if they are to get their way back into the ball game, they must capitalize on these freebies. We'll be able to take another look at that foul there as Letty converts.
This is what Western has to do. They get the ball inside the big. She goes hard to the basket. You're going to get that foul call. That's what I'm saying. When you don't fade away, you go hard to the basket, you'll get rewarded. I tell my 9-year-old kids that, and it works at every level.
Rebound to Letty off the miss from Woodside. Mustangs looking to break out, 44 seconds and counting here at Alumni Hall in the second quarter. Just a reminder, don't go away at halftime. We will feature an interview with Teresa Carriere, she of the One Run campaign. Be sure to stick around for that. Anderson able to launch, and that is no good. Air ball. Molden, a nice job to get that back in bounds, but into the hands of the Badgers. Peg pushing pace now. Swings the ball to Woodside, who finds Mackay, who curls around. Had an option from the free throw line, did not want it. And the Badgers, with this 11-point lead, will be patient. There is an opportunity from 10 feet for Woodside. No good. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Here's Molden pushing up the left side. Double team, trap her on the side. Chance for a last-second turnover or a last-second shot. Anderson sets her feet, guns, and no good at the buzzer. Unable to replicate the feat of Devin Punick, who took the Badgers into the first quarter break. We are at halftime. 38-27 the score in favor of the Brock Badgers. Stick around. We'll come back with Coach Rob Anderson of the Badgers prior to our halftime interview right here on Rogers TV.
The second quarter is brought to you by AMJ. The official movers of the Western Mustangs and their partners, Mustang Athletics. Your score for one half play, Badgers 38, Mustangs 27. Hey Mustangs fans, check out your Western Mustangs men's and women's basketball teams as they play in their annual Jam the Gym game on February 6th against the Guelph Griffins. All fans must wear purple to get in for free. One keychain and tons of prizes right here February 6th at Alumni Hall.
Welcome back here on Rogers TV. Mustangs at the half, trailing the Brock Badgers 38-27. And we are joined here at the announcers table by assistant coach for the Brock Badgers, Mr. Rob Anderson. Rob, thank you so much for joining us.
You're very welcome.
certainly one thing jumped out to us in that first half, and that was the Brock Badgers' ability to create the turnover against the Western Mustangs. Coming into the game, Rob, was that one of the focuses you wanted to limit the opportunities inside and create that turnover?
Well, we found ourselves last couple games getting away from what we're good at, and what we're good at is speed and defense and causing turnovers. And I mean, you look at the first half, and we've had 16 caused, and we've only given up 8. So that's where we're at normally in our games. Last couple games, we haven't been there.
And the three-point attempts. Obviously, when you get those turnovers, the girls aren't shy of launching up the threes. Very good three-point percentage right now. The thing that I like is how you're defending Western the post. The fact that they're bigger than you. You've got a great defensive rotation. How do you guys instill that into your team so that they all seem to be working as a unit, no matter who you have on the floor, whether it's number 1 and number 2 or number 11, number 12, they all seem to be on the same page.
Well, you know what? Coach Sy does his research, and he does a lot of film work, and we work at it. We run skeletons at practice, and we have the rotation going every practice. We work on it. And you know what? And the difference is, we're a pretty good shooting team, so we have to rotate in practice to stop our own players from shooting.
Great.
We'll let you get back to your team in just a second, Rob. I know you'll have lots to say to them at the half in terms of how to build upon this lead here going into the third quarter. Wondering if you could let our viewers in, perhaps, what advice will you have for your team in terms of maintaining this cushion coming out of the break?
Well, we've controlled the tempo, so we have to continue to control the tempo. We have to continue to rotate, communicate on defense. When we do that, we play really good D, and that's what we need to continue to do.
Excellent. Coach, thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to introduce you to our halftime interview today. I was able to sit down this morning with Teresa Carrier prior to today's ball game, have a chat with her about life, love, the pursuit of basketball, and her battle against breast cancer. And it's my pleasure to bring you that interview now here on Rogers TV. Welcome to Mustangs at the Half. My name is Kevin Gordon, and it is my great pleasure to be joined this afternoon by OCAA Women's Basketball Hall of Fame member and former Western Mustang, Teresa Carrier. Welcome, Teresa.
Thanks, Kevin.
Great to have you. Great to have you here today on such a special day for yourself and for the basketball community here in London and really across the province. Today we're here to celebrate the One Run event.
Yes.
One Run is something that our fans may not know a great deal about quite yet, and hopefully by the end of this afternoon you'll know a lot more about it. And Teresa, I'd love to turn it over to you. Would you like to tell the fans at home just a little bit of what the One Run event is before we tell them why you are taking such a leadership role?
Well, the One Run is an initiative that myself and a group of friends have decided to create so that we can raise money for breast cancer research. The One Run is a run that I will be taking on June 25th from London to Sarnia in one day. So one survivor, one day, 100 kilometers.
And you just hit the big nail on the head right there, Teresa. For our fans at home, you yourself are a breast cancer survivor.
Yes.
At the age of 43, if I'm correct, April
Yes.
2007, you received the news. And since then, I know that you have poured such great energy into the hope to find a cure.
Well, it came as quite a shock, to say the least. And I thought it was time for me to do something. And because with our basketball community, we know a lot of people. With the job that I do as a trainer, I come in contact with a lot of people. So I thought I'd use that and get as many people involved at raising as much money as we could for the cure.
And you mentioned raising the money and such, and I want to make sure our fans understand if they are looking to get involved and support Teresa in her endeavor on this One Run campaign, then please visit www.onerun.ca for all the information regarding sponsorship and how to get yourself involved and support Teresa in her run that day. I want to change gears just a little bit if I could, Teresa. We could spend all day talking about all the energy you've poured into that aspect of your life, but some of our younger viewers at home, perhaps, who weren't around the college scene a couple of years ago, shall we say, might not realize that you are one of the most decorated basketball players in Ontario college history. An inductee into the Ontario College Basketball Hall of Fame, as we've already mentioned. Your accomplishments hang on the walls at Fanshawe College, where you starred for 4 years, I believe?
3 years.
3 years,
Three
pardon
years.
me. and certainly a name that is still heard around the halls at Fanshawe. I can tell our fans that when I was coaching there, when we had our annual alumni games, all of the girls on the team wanted you to be the one across the floor from them. They wanted you guarding them because they loved the challenge and the energy that, despite your experience, you continue to bring to the game every year. Basketball's been a huge part of your life, and I'd love for our fans at home to perhaps get a glimpse into your life into basketball and how that's really been a constant force in your life over the last number of years.
Well, my post-secondary basketball career started here at Western. I played for 1 year, and then I moved to Fanshawe, where I played for 3 years. Basketball was, of course, it played a big impact in my life. It's something that I did all my life. It's something I enjoyed and very passionate about. After playing for 3 years, my husband Bill and I coached for 7, and I'm happy to say that my daughter Nicole is now playing for Fanshawe. It's something that, like I said, we all enjoy as a family, and it's a game that we love, and it's given us a lot as far as friendship, about teaching us life lessons. It was in the gyms that I learned how to work hard, to focus, and to endure pain, and that came in handy as I experienced breast cancer. The same rules apply. Keep your eyes on the prize, and don't let up, and don't let the pain get to you.
You mentioned being a survivor and really battling through there, Teresa, and I know the statistics are there, that there are over 400 women a week on average in Canada who are diagnosed with breast cancer, and every one of them attempting to put out the same level of fight that you are. What sort of advice would you like to provide perhaps to even the younger viewers, the young women watching at home, those who should start to have this concept on their mind that breast cancer is a reality of our life right now and something we have to be aware of in terms of testing, getting checked and such? What advice might you like to provide?
I think for me, I was fortunate enough to have an early diagnosis, so that was a big plus. The doctors reacted fairly quickly and my treatment was given right away. So obviously suggest to the doctor that you're ready for a mammogram. I think surround yourself with people with positive energy and that believe in your capabilities to fight it. And I think to believe in yourself. I know for me, my husband, Bill, and the kids were a tremendous help. And we surrounded ourselves with family and friends that helped us get through it.
You mentioned surrounding ourselves, and certainly today here at Alumni Hall, the University of Western Ontario partnership with the OUA, the CIS, everybody involved in the One Run initiative. Looking behind us, you can see on the court all of the players, the Brock Badgers and the Western Mustangs, adorned in the One Run t-shirts celebrating today's event. How must that make you feel?
You know what, as I was mentioning to you, very emotional, to say the least. I actually know some of the Western players, so to see them in the One Run t-shirts meant a lot to me. I got to tell you, we've been getting incredible support from the community. Good Life stepped up quickly to fund us, and our friends at Western, when we went to them with the idea, very quickly Steph Barry and the Western basketball team jumped on board, and the phys ed department. So we're really grateful to them for giving us a little kickstart to our One Run campaign.
Looking ahead just a little bit as we look to tie things off, talking about June 25th. It's going to be here before you know it.
Yes.
What sort of preparation are you undertaking right now leading up to the day in terms of the physical preparation?
Well, 100 kilometers is obviously a very long way to go. I have a trainer in Ray Sahab. If you Google him, he's run the Sahara Desert. He's done very extreme races around the world, and he found out about our One Run, and he gave me a call and he said, can I help you through this? So he's been coaching me along, so I have some real expertise backing me on this. A lot of running, a lot of TLC from Brad at the Good Life, who's doing massage for me, making sure I stay injury free, and Pam, who's making sure I'm eating properly. So I have a great team backing me on it.
And in terms of when the day arrives, I know it's hard to forecast, you never know what it's going to be like, but what do you foresee perhaps as your emotions being when you cross that finish line in Sarnia?
Oh my gosh, Kevin, I can't even imagine. The emotions right now as the time builds is so overwhelming. I can't imagine that day. It will be a wonderful, wonderful day for sure.
One woman, one run, one survivor. For those of you that are interested in supporting the cause, please visit www.onerun.ca. Teresa, thank you so very much for joining us today on Mustangs at the Half. We wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.
Enjoy the second half, ladies and gentlemen.
started. It was basketball that was the saving grace for my family and I. It was very tough, but to have that focus kept our minds on something more positive. We had the Rambler family close at hand to show support through a very difficult time. We had all of our wonderful friends from Good Life and London Life close by as well. Basketball is more than a game, and it's more than a game for myself and my family. It teaches us a lot, not just about how to play the game, but about life lessons. And the young players that I see out there today and the players that were on the floor before the half, it gives them the power to do more. If you are an athlete, you know how hard you train. You're taught to see past the pain. You remember to focus on your goals, and it's no different when you're battling cancer. We're able to do a lot more than we give ourselves credit for. The human body is an amazing thing. If we push it to the limit, if we challenge ourselves, and if we believe in ourselves, we can get whatever we want. That's what this run is all about. It's about pushing the body, challenging ourselves to do more. And what's more incredible is the power of the human spirit. I have an amazing team that's backing me. I am forever grateful. They've given their time and their energy constantly to this cause. One run is also a tribute to those that lost their battle with cancer. We want to remind our families that we haven't forgotten them. One run is one way for me as a mom and a coach to protect not only my daughters, but my players as well. With the money we raise, we hope that we get one step closer to finding a cure. There are so many people to thank here today. Our good friends at Western, my friends at Good Life, London Life, and all of you. I especially want to thank my family. This has turned their world upside down, and they kept it together for me. Not only did they support me when I was sick, but they're supporting this one run. A lot of people think I'm crazy for doing it, and they might be right. But if they understood or if they saw what I saw in all my friends and my family, there's no question that I will make it to Sarnia. It may hurt a little bit, but with all my friends and my family by my side, we'll get it done, and we'll make this happen. So again, thank you very much. My dad has always taught me when you have the opportunity to speak, to always leave something for your audience to remember. So I'm going to have you remember this. Believe in yourself. Trust those around you. Have faith in God, and you can accomplish anything, whether it's fighting breast cancer, running 100 kilometers, or winning a basketball game. So God bless, and thank you very much.
Welcome back once again to Alumni Hall on our Breast Cancer Awareness Day. That was Teresa Carrier, joined at center court by her husband Bill, her 4 children, and other family members as she gave her thanks to the crowd. And Chad, I know with all the time that you spent with Teresa over the last number of years and her family, certainly this is something that we are so happy to see Western be a part of.
Absolutely, and they're such a great family, such an athletic family with Nicole Carrier is now at Fanshawe College, soccer player and basketball player at Fanshawe. Both Danielle and Caitlin Carrier have been on provincial teams that have won national championships. And Vincent is a good golfer and hockey player, and will be an excellent basketball player, no doubt. So just a very athletic family. Bill's been a great supporter to Teresa. Bill obviously is a coach, was a coach at Fanshawe as well, with Teresa, and a college player himself. And just an incredible family. They've got great, huge extended family support, and just there's, what can you say? There's a lot of people in the crowd here from our Ramblers organization here to support, and it's just really good to see. And best of luck to her in her endeavor. $100,000, 100 kilometers would be fantastic for her to complete her goal.
And we are just about to be joined here by assistant coach of the Western Mustangs, Matt Spencer, as he comes to join us here at the table. And Chad, thank you so much for sharing your insights, given your longtime connection with the Carrier family. And once again, we here at Rogers TV, we do wish her all the very, very best and in her endeavor and in her one-run campaign. But now we are joined here by Matt Spencer of the Western Mustangs. Thank you so much for joining us here, Matt.
All right, thanks very much.
One thing that Chad and I were talking about coming out of that halftime break right there, we took a look over the stats, but stats really weren't needed to tell this story. Turnovers, obviously, the Achilles heel of the Mustangs right now. What did you talk to the girls about at half in terms of limiting the extra possessions that you're giving to the Brock Badgers?
Well, one of the things we need to do is we need to make sure we keep the ball in the middle of the floor. They're able to trap if we go along the sideline. So if we can keep the ball in the middle of the floor, that limits their opportunities to put us in a double team. And when we're not in a double team, we're in a more relaxed position, more likely to make a smart play instead of a dumb one.
And we noticed Caitlin Leddy with 3 assists a few times inside out, using that, seeing where the help comes from, dishing it to the right person. Do you want to try and use your height advantage inside a little bit more to begin the inside-out part of your game?
Well, yeah, that's the other thing we talked about at halftime was we want to make sure we get the ball deep in the key, and once we have it in there, if there's no double team, we're going to go and score. And of course, if the double team comes, we have people who are more than capable of kicking out, finding an open shooter. And the other thing we did is we didn't take advantage of our outside shot. That's something that's been there for us all season. So we're fully expecting it to be there in the second half.
And Brock shooting at 37% from the three-point line. I know most of those are off the break when you're hustling to get back and tough closing out. How do you intend on slowing down the almost 40% three-point percentage?
Well, that's exactly it. We have to do a better job of finding them in transition defense. And rather than run straight back to the rim and then have to try to run out towards a shooter, what we want to do is find them in transition, stop the ball from penetration, because a lot of what they're doing is try to penetrate and then they kick out. And like you said, it's an easy look. So what we're trying to do is just slow the ball down in transition, find shooters before they're open.
Last thing we ask you, Coach, before we let you get back for the second half, one key we can look for from the Mustangs, perhaps a particular player our fans can key on in the second half to see if she's able to help bring these Mustangs back for the victory.
Well, I'd be a fool if I said any other name except Amanda Anderson. She's been our stud all year, and we're going to rely heavily on Amanda to get the job done in the second half.
With 11 points for Amanda in the first half, we'll wish her, yourself, and the rest of the team best of luck in the second half, Matt.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
With just less than 1 minute to play here prior to the start of the second half, Coach Chad and I will have an opportunity now to take a look at more of those halftime statistics. Here are your halftime stats leaders for the Brock Badgers with 10 points on 4 of 5 shooting there in the first half. Whitney Gorgeous, 1 of 2 from downtown, 4 of 5 overall from the field. Give her 3 assists to go along with it. Leading the way in terms of rebounding, unfortunately, given that they only have 10 team rebounds through the first half. A plethora of players with a couple of rebounds apiece right there. But as you alluded to at the break, Coach, when you have a number of players knocking down their shots, there just aren't many rebounds to be had.
Yeah, there just isn't. When you're shooting at a 44% clip, 42% clip, you aren't going to have that many rebounds.
Taking a look at the Western Mustangs and their leaders at the half, the aforementioned Amanda Anderson, 5 of 10 from the field, including 1 of 4 from three-point land. Give her 11 points already on the afternoon as she looks to add to her number 3 in Ontario scoring pace. And she has been on a tear of late, hoping to continue that. leading the way rebounding for the Mustangs. Caitlin Letty, as one would expect, with 5 in the first half. And one of the guards really stepping up and having herself a good game in terms of doing the little things. Sarah Mallon pulling down 5 rebounds there in the first half.
Yeah, Sarah Mallon, 2 for 2 from the field. Unfortunately, 4 turnovers to go along with those 5 rebounds and 2 assists. So if she can cut down on her turnovers, she could be a factor here in the second half.
Back to live action, third quarter underway here at Alumni Hall. The Badgers with the 11-point lead, 38-27. And Stewart taking it hard to the rack on the first possession. She got her back turned, trying to create contact with Letty there. No good, say the officials. Traveling violation instead, as she had the pitter-patter going for her. Badgers into the pressure D already, right off the bat. Looks like a little man-up pressure defense with the floater and a 2-1-2 here. The Badgers electing to stay off the inbounder, rather having somebody floating that second level of the defense. Able to pull the sideline trap as quickly as possible. Mustangs inbound successfully. Badgers back off, drop into their man D. There is Molden giving off to Anderson. Anderson looking for the high screen from Parks. Parks diving in against Kunick. Letty with the rotation up top, finds Parks inside, but that's Kunick able to create the turnover. She pushes the pace up to Gorgeous. Gorgeous with the open 12-footer. No good. There is Molden pulling down the rebound, looking to break back the other way. Is Mallon now up the sideline. 2-on-3 opportunity here. Elects to pull out, not having the numbers game. Parks going hard to the hole. Left hand. No good. The basket waved off by the baseline official. And she did not get that shot up in time, was not in the act of shooting when the foul occurred. Mustang possession on the baseline.
Yeah, unfortunately we're not in the NBA here, or that would have been an and one, but great job by Lauren taking a hard left hand to the basket.
Mustangs here with possession in the corner. There's Anderson running the curl. Gets herself, drops one in for Letty. Letty with the right hand off the glass. The Mustangs with the first basket of the second half, trailing by 9.
First 2 possessions for Western so far, a little high-low action. Once off the pass, once off the dribble, and I think they need to use that to try to exploit the size differential between the 2 teams.
Kunick rotates to Gorgeous. Gorgeous with just a pretty shot right there. 3-ball, extend the lead now, 12 points. Parks with the ball up top, looking to play high-low with Letty. Letty gets it just on top of the block, working against Stewart. Backs her in, back to the middle, right hand up, no good, but there is Mallon with the rebound once again. Doing a great job of giving the Mustangs extra opportunities. There is Parks going hard, no call with the contact. The Badgers with the ball now wide open on the right side. That was Del Senor able to get a clean look. No good. Mustangs breaking back. That's Molden up at the top. Anderson with the ball right now. Parks looking to set the screen. Letty with terrific position. There's no stopping it when you get a 6-footer 6 inches from the basket, Coach.
Not when she's sitting right underneath the hoop. All she's got to do is turn and lay it in.
And quick foul the other way. The Badgers going to the line for a pair right now. Mustangs, looks like that was number 12, Lauren Parks, called for the foul. Second foul of the ball game on Parks, only first team foul here in the second half. Williams will check in to replace Parks. Going to the line is number 23, Jessica Del Senor.
I really like the way that Brock gets the ball out of the basket quickly and up the floor. 2 passes, they're down the other end of the floor. Western's chasing them right now, and if they can keep this pace up, it just really plays into their advantage. Seeing as how they got 10 players with major minutes for the game, and Western's really only playing 8 at this point, with 6 getting heavy minutes and 2 kind of filling in with 5 or 6 minutes.
Certainly something we'll look to as the game draws on. Is the fatigue a factor? There is Letty double-teamed in the corner. Brock once again looking to create those extra possessions. Letty able to split the double-team. Ball up to Anderson, who pushes to the free-throw line. Moss with the open look. No good. Gorgeous with the rebound. Ball up to Del Senor. As you said, there it is. 1 pass. You're already in the quarter-court offense there, Coach. Kunick rotating the ball across Del Senor. Goes against Moss. Stewart up at the top, leans into one, no good, but there is Mackay coming hard for the rebound, working hard again, but right into the hands of Anderson. Anderson breaking, there's Williams with her on the left side. Plenty of contact, no call, however, the Brock Badger that touched the ball had not established herself in bounds before touching it. There you get a look at Sai Kuvaseneth head coach of the Brock Badgers. Pardon me, Sai Kunvaseth, my apologies, coach. Doing a great job with this young squad. He himself only a first-year coach in the OUA, and doing a great job of matching up against one of the best in the division, the Western Mustangs. There is Anderson, entry to Letty. Letty having herself a strong half already. Called for 3 in the key. She's getting that great position, pardon me, coach, but are the Western Mustangs doing a good enough job of finding her early?
Well, I think the problem is right now you're trying to do inside out like we talked to Coach Spencer, but your teammates aren't moving. If they're not moving, you can't get them the ball. But everybody's watching Caitlin. Let's see what Caitlin can do. You've got to move. You've got to move to get open.
That was Peg with the 3 attempt from the corner. No good. There is Letty with the ball. Gets it up to Anderson. Anderson pushing pace, staying in the middle. There's Williams on the wing. Hard to the basket with the contact. No call, but drop the 2. Long stretch pass by the Badgers. That looked like Kunick throwing the ball ahead there. Cannot convert. Peyton Manning not playing yet today. Turn that ball over to the Mustangs. The Mustangs trying to chip away. The lead is now 8 for the Badgers. 6:45 left to play. And the referees with a quick whistle here just to organize themselves. Substitutions coming for the Mustangs. Back in is Parks replacing Letty. Letty working hard, getting herself a break. Williams inbounds to Anderson on the sideline. She'll look to gain the middle of the court. Working against Kunick. Kunick doing a good job of keeping up with the speedy Anderson. As Coach Spencer said at half, if there's one name to look to call, it's going to be Anderson. There is the rotation back to her at the top. Up fake, gets around Peg. And there is Anderson doing a great job of finding a hole in the Badger defense.
That's textbook high-low with the pass coming into the high-low. Lauren recognizing the help, kick it around, ball movement, shot fake, in for an easy 2.
The Mustangs have had lots of good looks throughout the course of the ball game, but now they're playing a little defense to go along with it. 6-point ball game here at Alumni Hall. Badgers with the offensive rebound. Kunick coming down from the top. Here's Peg trying in behind her. Goes up against Moss. No good. Rebound controlled by Williams, and Williams taking it up the right side. Rotates to Anderson across the court. Anderson will take a look. Here comes Moss to set the screen. Post open for the roll. Does not elect to go in, but there's Parks filling through. Parks takes it middle, able to get it up to Anderson, who swings to the corner. There's Moss coming baseline. Moss off the glass, and the Mustangs offense, coach, is absolutely clicking right now.
Right, they're being unselfish. They're seeing where the help's coming from. They're distributing the ball, attacking the basket, making smart decisions, and protecting the basketball, taking care of it.
That is Gallinardo at the top, taking the screen from Neal. And Moss with the steal, ball into the hands of Anderson. They'll look to push back. The Badgers a great job of recovering, as one would expect from such an athletic team. Williams pops from 3. She's feeling it, cannot convert. That would have set the crowd into a tizzy. They are just waiting for an excuse to explode.
And that's a good play by Rebecca, getting her own shot, Becky Williams. And just if they take care of the basketball, Western will have a very good chance at finishing this game with the lead. They've done an excellent job playing more as a team in the second half.
41-37 the score in favor of the Badgers, and that was Gallinardo going hard to the basket. Took too many steps to get there. Turnover for the Mustangs, and one would expect from the coaching side of things here, Chad. Coach Sy might be tempted to call a timeout relatively soon here, as his charges are really not getting anything done offensively right now.
Yeah, and you get another look there at Rebecca Williams staying with the player, cutting to the basket, causing her to travel and get the turnover.
Ball inbounds, Peg providing pressure against Anderson. Anderson gaining the midcourt line. Working against Peg, that's Letty with the good high screen right there. Rotate that ball to Moss. She's able to find Mallon in the corner. Mallon doesn't like what she has. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Ball in the hands of Anderson. Anderson working hard here, trying to create something. Dump it into Letty. She's going to go one-on-one and converts with the left hand. I think
under control, and getting position. Turn and face the basket. Go strong to the basket. Make the easy floater.
And you talk about veteran, that's a great veteran move by Anderson right there on the last possession, recognizing, hey, shot clock winding down, we still have time. As long as there's lights on the clock, we can play some offense here. I do not have to force myself to put a difficult shot up against a good defender.
And that's a fifth-year senior, understanding that she's got time to be able to do that, as we see Caitlin Letty reaching in, getting the foul call. She's got the poise, she's got the understanding of the clock, knowing that with 3 or 4 seconds on the clock, you can still make one more pass and get that easy basket.
One more pass too many that time for the Mustangs. Williams throws it right into the hands of the Badgers. Anderson tries to induce the offensive foul. No good. Basket good for Gorgeous. The lead back to 4 points for the Badgers. Anderson with the ball. Before that turnover, had a chance to tie the game with a possession. Now they are 4 points away and trying to run the curl. The Badgers doing a great job breaking that one up. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Ball with Anderson. Kick it to Moss. Moss with the contact. She will go to the line. She is going to get 3 shots at the basket.
Yeah, 3 shots. Amanda Anderson is just so good with the ball. She always knows where she is on the court. She knows where the defense is. She knows where she can attack, and she knows where the open person is. So just a really great player, and one that's like Matt Spencer said, one they're going to rely on to get back in this game in the second half.
And a player who, we talked about it in terms of Kelly Molden in the first half, being that point guard role, ball in your hands very often. If you want to create passing lanes, you have to be a threat to score yourself. That's certainly something that has always been a part of Amanda Anderson's game, someone who is able to create her own shot opportunity and get to the free throw line when it's needed.
Exactly.
Rebecca Moss, good on that one. 43-40 the score in favor of the Badgers. 3:44 left to play. Mustangs trailing by 2. 3:44 in the third quarter. Peg with the ball for the Badgers. Badgers not doing much offensively here as they have only scored 5 points here in the third quarter. Mustangs defense doing a nice job limiting second chance opportunities and cutting down on the turnovers. Here we see.
There you see Caitlin Letty stepping up. A little too aggressive with her hands, reaching in. In that situation, you want to play defense with your feet. Use your hands to be a distraction, but not reach in.
And here we have a 3-second call on the Badgers now, as we have the referees paying close attention to all the action happening in the key right now. Both teams trying to assert themselves inside. Mustangs certainly finding more success than are the Badgers, in particular Letty, who sets that good hard screen right there. Rotate the ball to Moss, find Letty cutting across, but everybody on the court knew that one was coming. Moss did not set that pass up very well. Here is Peg, poking and prodding the baseline, gets it up to Gorgeous. Gorgeous rotating the ball. They end up finding in the corner Kayla Schertl, but that was no good. Here's Williams, coffin corner against the triple team. Unfortunately, Gallinardo puts her hand out of bounds before she's able to get rid of the ball. Out of bounds, Mustang possession in the front side.
And that's just a little bit of an experience for Becky Williams, knowing that not knowing that the defense is sending her exactly to where they want her to go, so that they can trap her with the sideline and the 8-second line. So she'll learn to keep the ball in the middle of the floor as she gets a little more experience in the CIS game.
Mallon inbounding the ball against Gorgeous, able to find Letty cutting open. Unfortunately, a pass just a little bit in front of Letty. Cannot make the connection. Coach Barry furious on the sideline at that mistake.
Well, you get frustrating. Like you work so hard to bring the game back within 2 points. You got a chance to tie it, and you just throw the basketball away. It's very frustrating as a coach. Now sitting at 22 turnovers for the game.
43-41 the score. Peg with the ball. Less than 3 minutes to play here in the third quarter. That's Kunick up at the top. Rotate to Gorgeous. Gorgeous finds Stewart on the cut. Stewart working hard to the baseline side. Able to get it up. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Peg thought about the three. Does not like it against Mallon. She'll hit the step back two right there. That is a shot that not a lot of players are going to be consistent with.
No, it's a good crossover to get the defense to back off. Step back. Nice little finish on the follow-through.
Kelly Molden now, haven't called that name very often this quarter, able to find Parks at the top. Lauren Parks converts from 18.
And it's similar to dumping it in for inside out. You still drive to the basket, draw the defense, kick it out to the open person cutting to the high post, Lauren Parks.
Great ball rotation by the Badgers. Mackay elects to put one up, no good. Anderson with the rebound, pushing the ball up the court. Molden wide open up the sideline, could not find her. Here is Letty giving the ball back to Anderson, settle into the quarter court offense. Letty just running over Britt Peg as she tried to establish position. That 6 feet going against 5'4", and unfortunately Peg, I think, goaded her into a little extra contact there.
Yeah, it looked like Peg's a good defensive player. She's low to the ground. She's very quick, and when you get up against those bigger players, you can kind of slip in front of them quickly and get that call.
You mentioned her skill as a defender. I can tell you from firsthand experience, when coaching Fanshawe College, having to play against her at St. Lawrence. She was certainly a game changer defensively for those Vikings. Here we have Molden with the ball coming through, gaining the half-court line. 47-43 in favor of the Badgers. Anderson with a look at three, and that is good from a couple of paces behind the arc. Amanda Anderson absolutely feeling it. 13 points in the ball game.
Just a great look for Amanda. She's got such a great shot, so poised, so calm. Great shot, great follow through.
Quick correction there with that three ball. Give her 16 now on the ball game, approaching her per game average, which is one of the best in the OUA and the country. Pegg launching from three with the shot clock expiring, and Britt Pegg doing her best to keep the Badgers in front, and a careless turnover by the Mustangs. Anderson looking ahead, trying to create something before she secured the ball. We see that all the time in the NFL, Coach, and now we're seeing it here in the OUA, trying to make a move before the ball's put away, even though the pass was not exactly on key.
Well, exactly, and it's been the story of the game so far. They've got 23 turnovers on the game, and Brittany Pegg comes up with a big three-pointer at that time, and then they just turn the ball over, going up the other way. And not even a forced turnover. Those are the ones you hate as a coach. The unforced errors, they just kill you.
And momentum trying to be ripped away from the Mustangs by these Badgers, but the Badgers just cannot convert offensively. Only 12 points in the quarter right now, and here is Anderson giving off to Molden. Molden working her way around the left side, triple team waiting for her. Elects to put it back to Moss for the three ball, and the three-point shot certainly working for the Mustangs right now as they are clawing their way back in. They only trail by a single point here with 16 seconds to play. The Badgers trying to extend the lead as they head to the fourth quarter. The Mustangs will safely say they've had a great quarter, making this a manageable game for the fourth. And there, unfortunately, Caitlin Letty whistled for the foul. I think that's going to be number 4 on her in this ball game there, Coach. And if that, in fact, is, yes, it is number 4 on Caitlin Letty, that is going to staple her to the bench for the next little while, as you do not want to lose that player coming down the stretch in a close ball game.
Well, that's tough. With 7 seconds left in the quarter, probably not a foul that you want her to take. Maybe take a step away, let the player go to the basket, get in rebound position. Being such a big part of this game, you really need her to understand that she needs to be on the floor in that situation.
Parks into the game for her. Stewart at the line, able to convert on her second of 2. 7 seconds left. The Badgers ahead by a pair, 51-49. Here with 7 seconds left in the third quarter. We are in for a fantastic finish here today at Alumni Hall. Parks with the inbound to Mallon. Back to Parks as she works her way up against Mackay. Throws the bomb to Moss. Moss unable to get the catch cleanly. Throws up a prayer. That will not go. But the Mustangs, all in all, with a very solid third quarter under their belts. It's a manageable lead. 51-49 in favor of the Brock Badgers. Don't go away. Come on back and join us for fourth quarter action here on Rogers TV.
Speak to that, or
Sorry?
you want me to speak to that, or are you going to talk about it?
I'll intro the whole thing, just say turnover is the name of the game, and then I'll let you run with the highlight pack. Is that good? That's beautiful. Welcome back here to Alumni Hall. Fourth quarter action on the way, but before we get to that, Coach Chad Cowan here with me on the microphone this afternoon. And Chad, I got to say, the big story of this game, without a doubt, has been the 36 combined turnovers between the Badgers and the Mustangs.
Yeah, and you'll see here, like Rebecca Williams getting caught in the corner like we talked about. That's just a little bit of an experience. She got bailed out on the foul call there. Brock's been playing excellent defense. You see the help side come there. You see a good defensive play, a kickball there. Just three people always around the ball for Brock. You see the foul here on Caitlin Letty. Just turnovers are just you don't mind aggressive turnovers like Brock. Their turnovers for the most part have been trying to push the ball up the floor. Western's turnovers have been more either unforced errors or Brock causing the turnovers on their defensive pressure.
Taking a look at some of the statistics through three quarters in addition to those turnovers that you have mentioned there, Coach, and certainly look at some of the percentage statistics and everything looking the favor of the Mustangs. Right now we do have 38.8% the shooting percentage for the Brock Badgers, so when they are getting those opportunities and have put up 49 shots in the ballgame, they're getting the opportunities, they aren't converting.
Yes, exactly, and when we speak turnovers, we don't forget, Brock's been playing a heck of a defensive game. So probably out of Western's 22 turnovers, I'll bet you Brock's probably forced 16 of them. But it's those other 6. If you're shooting 50%, now you're up by 5 instead of down by 2.
Looking at a few of the other statistics that we've seen from the ballgame, the Mustangs, with their terrific capitalization when they have gotten the turnovers from the Badgers, they're shooting almost 53% on the afternoon, 33% from downtown. But for both teams, something that will certainly play a factor coming down the stretch here, free throws abysmal this game. The Mustangs shooting 43%, and the Brock Badgers not much better at 46%.
And that could be a factor for the pace of this game. It's so fast, it's so up and down, and when you get to the line, you're sucking air, and maybe you don't use your legs enough. So it could be a factor, just the frenetic pace of this game. The speed of it will cut down on the free throw percentage a little bit.
There is Anderson, first shot of the fourth quarter, puts the Mustangs in front. It only took 14 seconds, but the Mustangs now have their first, I believe, lead of the ball game. 52-51, 9:30 to play, finally in front of the Brock Badgers. And there is Mackay going hard to the hoop. No call there as she was looking for contact. Moss with the rebound. Here's Molden able to push the middle. Kelly Molden poking and prodding, takes the screen from Parks, goes hard against Mackay. Mackay got a piece of that. Anderson with the ball, swings it over to Mallon. Back to Moss. Moss thought about a long three, thought better of it. Hand the ball to Parks, but that basket will not count. Moss traveled before handing the ball off to Parks.
Yeah, Moss just shuffled her feet a little bit of indecision. Wasn't sure whether she was going to take the shot or dump it off, caused the travel a little bit. Great job by Amanda Anderson on that three-pointer with the Brock defender right in her face. Actually, it looked like she got fouled, but great job putting Western in front for the first time today.
Anderson surpassing her average now. She does have 19 points on the afternoon, and I'm sure we're going to hear more from her before the afternoon is over. There's Mackay working against Molden. Swings it to Gorgeous against Anderson. Comes in from the baseline. Perhaps Anderson looking for a help defense rotation there. Did not get it. Gorgeous finishes one-on-one. Molden setting up the screen from Parks. Parks with a big screen on Del Senor. There's the switch. Unable to work the ball in so far. There's Anderson looking for Parks. Floats one into her. Double team waiting for her. Parks going one-on-one. Finds Molden at the top. No good off the three-ball attempt, but there is Molden getting scrappy on the floor. Parks with the ball going against three defenders. Not a decision that you want to see if you're in that situation. Great hustle by a teammate, and Parks unfortunately giving the ball right back to the Badgers.
Well, you have to understand that there's three people around the ball at all times, so even if you think you're wide open, you're not. So you have to have a head on the swivel, understand where the defense is coming from, and make the right decisions.
Molden watching Mackay. Mackay trying to set the screen. Elects to launch the three. Miss Mackay, hello, you are on fire right now with a hand in the face hitting that one. Here is Anderson pushing back, finds Mallon in the corner. Treat that one as a pass for Parks, unable to convert. Second attempt, able to take it up against Del Senor. Del Senor whistled for the obvious foul. Parks going to the line, chance to convert. 4-point lead back for the Brock Badgers.
And this is where you got a great hustle play by Kelly Molden. Great job. Gets the ball to Lauren Parks and just not, you'd like her to be real aggressive. Doesn't see the Brock player coming up behind her. Tips the ball away. and down they go the other way.
And you look as she was making her attack right there, one of the things that jump out, dribbling up almost to her shoulders right there, perhaps a little lazy with the dribble right there. Parks at the free throw line, unfortunately misses both free throw attempts. Stewart with the rebound, pushes for Gorgeous, who hands off to Del Senor, back to Gorgeous, who rotates it to Kunick. Kunick thought about the three against Parks, elects to get rid of the ball to Del Senor. She'll have another look, puts it up, and comes up well short. You mentioned earlier, Coach, the pace of the game perhaps playing a role in terms of conditioning and shot attempts by both squads right now.
Well, you just missed a chance there. Lauren had 2 easy layups and 2 free throws and missed all of them. So, really a chance to bring this game back to within 2 and just missed opportunities that you'd expect a fifth-year senior to capitalize on for you.
Molden working against Peg, a fun matchup to watch if you are of the defensive mindset. There is Anderson with the ball against Kunick. Kunick with those long arms. Anderson goes right, puts down the teardrop. 21 in the ball game for Anderson. 54 for the Mustangs, but 56 for the Badgers.
Such a great soft finish. We've talked about it all day. She just knows how to position her body away from the defense to allow her to have a nice, easy shot to the basket.
There is Anderson with the strip, doing it on both ends, working hard against Peg. Peg runs right by her, not wanting to create the foul. Anderson just a little out of control, unfortunately, as she was trying to play breakneck speed right there. Gorgeous probing the baseline from the left side, gives it off to Stewart, puts one up, and there's Moss all alone for the rebound. There's no slowdown in either of these teams. Both teams pushing the ball hard right now with 6.5 to play. 2-point lead for the Badgers. A little miscommunication there, unfortunately. That was Moss heading hard to the basket. Looked like she might have been thinking Anderson would have actually been in position for the catch at the arc.
Well, and I've noticed the last couple of possessions, Western has there's 2 and 3 guards sitting in the corners and not moving. So maybe Rebecca Moss was expecting Becky Williams to rotate back to the wing. That's exactly where the pass went. So little miscommunication there.
Kunick now with the ball for the Badgers, gives off to Stewart, who hands off to Gorgeous. Gorgeous having herself a nice fourth quarter. She's a player for the Badgers that you look to assert herself on this ball game right now, as she is their leading scorer on the season, and she is averaging 11.8 points per ball game so far this season.
Well, she's got 17 points today, 7 of 11, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Very active, only 1 turnover. Just having an outstanding game for her Brock Badgers.
That is a player that Coach Sy said before the ball game is someone who can match Anderson point for point if she has to. Well, let's take a look now, change pace here. Take a look at the team standings in the OUA West Division right here. We're having such a great ball game here at Alumni Hall that you'd almost forget how close these teams are statistically and in the standings, not only in today's game. You see the Mustangs there at 9-2, good for second in the division. The Badgers hot on their tail at 7-4, tied with a glut of teams there for third place. The OUA West, one of the more competitive divisions across the country. It is always a terrific recruiting battle in this division, as Coach Sy alluded to in the pregame coaches chat. And certainly he's a young guy that is going to have many years ahead. Looking now at the East standings, you take a look at Queens, Golden Gales, able to see themselves standing on top right now. Game in hand on the Ravens. The Ravens, I believe, lost last night at Ryerson. Ryerson having a nice year for themselves, finding themselves in third place after several years of finding themselves down in the lower echelons. Those East standings, almost a bit of a reversal, Coach, of what we were accustomed to a short time ago.
Yeah, and there you see the coach for Brock Badgers, Sy. You'd say that I don't know. I just call him Sy. I've coached against him for a number of years, and when he was coaching with the Transway program, the juggernaut Hamilton Transway program, and we've had a lot of coaching battles over the year. Just a real good guy, great with kids. He really likes this group of players that he has this year, and big shoes to fill stepping in from the previous coach, but she's been a great guiding mentor to him and a great helping hand in the transition.
And speaking of transition, here comes Anderson pushing pace from the Mustangs. Step back, hand off to Allen, and Gorgeous, who tried to convert the offensive opportunity in the last Brock possession, sweeps the glass with the rebound, gets the ball back, and you're going to see Gorgeous doing a lot of work here in the fourth quarter for the Badgers. Doing the work right there is Woodside, no good. Anderson with the ball, and she is slowing things down right now as the Mustangs recognize with only 5:38 to play here, trailing by 2. Every possession is going to count. Anderson trying the left side into the double team, gets the whistle. Anderson going to the line for a pair. Amanda Anderson doing a great job from the free throw line this season, as one would expect from a team leader, someone averaging over 18 points a game on the season. She is 76%, averaging almost 3 attempts per game.
She did a great job there on the replay as we see her going to the basket, changing the angle of her shot so that she was able to get a shot at the basket even though it didn't go in.
1 point ball game now with 1 free throw to come. 5:31 on the clock. 56-55 in favor of the Badgers. Anderson, chance to tie in her hands. It's up. It's nothing but the cup. Tie ball game, 5.5 to play. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, coming up immediately after the women's game, we have men's CIS basketball action. The Brock Badgers here to face your Western Mustangs. Sure to be an instant classic, as we will be seeing 2 of the most athletic teams in the OUA. No good by the Badgers. Anderson with the rebound. Tie game chance to regain the lead for the second time here in the quarter. Moss beats her man. Does not like what she sees. Hands off to Letty, who's in the game with 4 fouls, but a turnover once again by the Mustangs. That was gorgeous, getting their head into the action all over again.
And Amanda Anderson set up the high-low perfectly there, but for some reason Moss didn't get it inside to Letty, who's wide open underneath, and then that kind of throws off your sink, and now it results in a turnover, as you see here.
Del Senor gets the ball to Mackay. Mackay rotates that ball up to Woodside. In the corner is Gorgeous. Dumps it in. Woodside finds Peg. Peg working against Anderson. Peg with another step back, no good. But Del Senor working hard for the rebound. There's Anderson waiting for it. Moss is out running with her. And Anderson is whistled for the offensive push-off. Steph Barry letting everybody in the crowd know just what he thought of that. Now that's a call. I'm not going to put you on the spot with that one, Coach. That looked like an even-up call right there for something, if you ask me. But
I think that's either a no call or that's probably a no call as opposed to the call that was made.
Everything a little bit more obvious to some of us who look through the purple gaze, and there is Mackay right there converting the Badgers back in front, 58-56, 4:17 to play. Anderson with the ball up to Letty. Letty with nobody in front. Not surprising, though, as from her forward position, not accustomed to handling the ball in the open court. There's Anderson getting inside the free throw line, and Amanda Anderson showing why she will be drawing consideration for CIS All-Canadian status when this season is over.
25th point of the day, and really taking this game into her hands.
And there is Anderson able to get the deflected ball. She's running with Williams. Up ahead to Williams against Peg. No good right there. Anderson working inside for the rebound. Good position there, and all Mackay can do is swipe that ball away. Terrific head manning of the ball right there on that break by Anderson.
Yeah, great job. I thought she might have taken it a little bit more, put Becky Williams in a little tough spot there, but still a good pass. Becky just missed on the finish. Still Western basketball on the baseline.
Coach Barry looking on. Tie ball game right here, 58 apiece, under 4 minutes to play. Letty going hard with the left hand right there, converts the Mustangs back in front of this back and forth tilt here at Alumni Hall.
Strong move by Letty going to the basket, finishing hard off the glass.
And I think somebody's got to tell the Badgers that, yes, she is left-handed. There is Woodside lifting the ball, no good, nothing but air. Letty with the ball, dribbles out, and ooh, dangerous pass. Cross court in the back court. Del Senor had an opportunity, elected to play defense instead. Letty with the roll. Anderson swings the ball. Moss with the look from 3. No good, but Becky Williams with the offensive rebound for the Mustangs. Working against Stewart right there. Kick out. Moss wants another try. No good off back iron. Woodside pushing the ball up. There's Molden with a nice wraparound by Woodside to keep the ball away from Molden. Breakneck pace here at Alumni. Stewart with the drive. Molden just crumpled like a lawn chair trying to draw the foul. Refs weren't falling for it. 60 points apiece. Mustangs and Badgers, 2:43 to play. Molden working it in, ran into her own teammate on that one. A little miscommunication. Here's Anderson now working against Woodside. Into Letty against Koenig. Letty with the ball. Skip pass to the corner. Becky Williams put it up. No good, just a little strong.
Great pass by Letty again, finding the open person.
And there is Mackay running the break with Stewart. Stewart can't convert. Letty with the offensive rebound, but Mackay chipping away inside. No whistles. The referees electing to let the players sort things out just a little bit, and a kick ball finally called, as Mackay has a question for the official after her last shot attempt was altered with the contact.
Oh, you can see the pace this team is really starting to wear on the players now. As you see here, a little missed layup. Letty with the tip to herself. Great job by Stewart to tip the ball out. Mackay gets boxed out, doesn't like it. Then she kicks the ball. Just a great effort from both teams.
What a classic finish we are in store for here today. Letty setting the screen for Anderson. Anderson rotates to Parks. High-low action presents itself. Can't get the ball in. And that is a great job by Parks, almost getting the turnover. Kunick wraps her way around, but travels as she tries to get the ball ahead to a teammate. Last possession down there. Great look from the Mustangs trying to set that high-low action off the ball screen there, Coach. But unfortunately, they're taking advantage of Parks, recognizing she is not the best passer on the floor for these Mustangs.
Parks isn't protecting the ball. She's being very soft. She needs to be a lot stronger, more aggressive, and understand when to make the pass.
Minute 45 to play. Ball in the hands of Anderson. We got a tie ball game here, sports fans. 60 points apiece. Ball inside to Letty. Kick it back out for Molden with a wide open look. No good. Rebound Del Senor, and a very quick whistle to kill the action from the officials. Caitlin Letty, if that's her foul, that will be 5 in the ball game. That will put her to the bench. And that is, in fact, number 5 on Caitlin Letty. That puts her out of the ball game. And Coach Barry furious at the call that has been made. 30 seconds now for Coach to put somebody else onto the floor for the Mustangs in this tie ball game.
Well, as you saw there, maybe not, the best foul for Caitlin to take for her 5th foul. Coaches really aren't too happy with that. As an official, you don't really want that to be the 5th foul, but hey, she hit her in the back of the head with her elbow. It's a foul. So Caitlin, again, has to put herself in a better position, but the bottom line is, if Molden makes that 3, none of that ever happens. So wide open 3-pointer missed, causes Letty over the back. Now Letty's out of the ball game. We need Western needs either Moss or Parks to step up inside and take over Letty's role.
Each team still with a foul to give here in the 4th quarter. 1 minute, 35 seconds coming down the stretch. Caitlin Letty has fouled out of this ball game for the Mustangs after having herself a heck of a ball game. We're going to try and get the updated stats on Letty for you in just a moment. But we do have on the floor for the Mustangs one Amanda Anderson with over 25 points in the ball games. Final stats on Letty, we do have 11 points, 3 assists, and 11 rebounds. Give her the double-double on the game. But she was certainly a factor, playing a little rough here today at Alumni Hall between these teams. We take a look now at some of the rough stuff that we've had on the floor today. Letty going hard, Stewart going hard against Letty. There's Parks inside working hard. There's been a lot of contact, despite the fact that we've said all game Brock is a small team. We got to say here that they are a real chippy, real aggressive, very tough defensive team.
My kind of team. That's how I preach with my teams. Be aggressive. The more aggressive you are, the more calls you're going to get, and the easier you're going to make the other team kind of back down. The good thing about this game is neither team is back down from the contact, and I think CIS women's basketball is a very, very physical game, especially for the kids that, the younger kids like Becky Williams that have moved up from high school, Melissa Rondinelli, who unfortunately is not playing today with a sprained ankle, but just a very physical game that by the time you get to your 4th, 5th year, you're ready to bang with the bigs.
60-60, the score between the Badgers and the Western Mustangs here. OUA women's basketball action at Alumni Hall. 1 minute, 20 seconds to play. Stewart with her toes on the line, hits the long 2, puts the Badgers in front. 1 minute, 16 left to play. Molden with the ball for the Mustangs. You know who they're going to be looking for. Amanda Anderson has been the woman all afternoon for these Western Mustangs. She's imploring Molden to work it to her side. Working a double high set. Molden trapped on the sideline. And it will stay with the Western Mustangs. Last touched by the Badgers. Molden putting herself in a tough spot.
Well, you can't pick up your dribble, especially when you know Brock's been double and triple teaming all day. So, maybe just a little bit of fatigue setting in, and not recognizing what Brock's doing.
We've been talking about it a few times this afternoon, Chad, and this day is just a terrific day here at Alumni Hall. You can see on the jerseys, on the shirts, pardon me, of the players sitting on the bench there, the one-run shirts being worn in honor of Teresa Carriere and her endeavor to run 100 kilometers on June the 25th, a Friday, starting at 5 o'clock, kicking things off. She will be running 100 kilometers from London to Sarnia to fight in hopes of raising awareness and funds in the fight against breast cancer. We had a terrific interview that you were able to watch at halftime today, and as you saw coming out of that interview, was able to make a very emotional address to the crowd here at Alumni Hall. And once again, all of us here at Rogers TV do nothing but wish all the best to Teresa and her family as she continues her battle as a breast cancer survivor. All the best, Teresa, from all of us here at Rogers TV. For those of you wishing to contribute to the cause, please visit www.onerun.ca for more information. 1 minute, 2 seconds left to play. Mustangs forced to call that timeout as there is only 9 seconds on the shot clock. They have to set up a quick hitter. There's Mallon wide open on the weak side, coming in for the 6-footer. Converts, tie ball game. 59 seconds left, 62 all. Mackay working against Molden. Defense at a premium coming down the stretch. Terrific cut by Del Senor off the glass and in. She beat the rookie Williams for that possession there. Molden now with the ball for the Mustangs, trailing by 2. Mustangs must capitalize as they gave up a freebie on the other end. Parks working one-on-one against Stewart. Spin move to the middle, goes 1-on-3, cannot convert, but Molden comes up with the loose offensive rebound. Foul called on Mackay. Possession on the sideline for the Mustangs, but more importantly, Chad, we're now into the penalty situation here. That is the 4th team foul against the Badgers.
Well, and here you see Kelly Molden again with another offensive rebound, her second big offensive rebound in about the last 2 minutes. Lauren Parks with an aggressive move to the basket, not quite able to finish, and Western retaining possession of the basketball.
Coach Barry with 34.9 seconds left on the clock, talking to his team right now. Defense must be the key right now. You do have an offensive possession. You're going to draw up your play. You're going to assume the score. And then what are you telling him in terms of coming back defensively, Coach? Well,
defensively, you got to get out on the 3 without allowing the drive to the basket. It's a difficult thing to do, but you do the best you can. Look for help side rotation. And just don't want to give them an easy look, and definitely don't give them a second chance. Make sure one and done, and you go back the other direction.
Looking at the other side of the coin now from the Brock Badgers perspective. Coach Barry's in the huddle diagramming a one-possession play right here with those 35 seconds left. Again, for the Brock Badgers, what are you taking away coming out of this timeout?
Well, if you're the coaches, you've just seen Coach Barry totally change his offensive set in the last 2 possessions. He's gone from a high-low set with two guards in the corners to an overload where it's a one-on-one situation, a little more difficult for the help side to come, and that's got him 2 easy looks at the basket so far. So you're either going to look at some kind of a screen play for Amanda Anderson as she's throwing the ball in here. Always look to the passer's always the shooter on this situation, so they've got to match up, find their checks, fight through the screens.
And we know Anderson loves that baseline, so look for her to find herself curling around Parks. Parks working hard to the middle of the court, finds Anderson near the top. Parks with the screen, establishing position against Gorgeous. Anderson dribbles in for space, front rim no good, but Parks going up high trying to get the ball. Last touched by Parks out of bounds. Badger possession, 20 seconds left. Mustangs trail by 2. Timeout called by the Badgers.
And that's a good look from Amanda Anderson. She just didn't quite get her feet underneath her. Not sure if we're going to look at it or not, but she just didn't quite get her feet underneath her and was a little short on the basket, a little bit off balance. Lauren Parks did a real good job working hard for the rebound, just squeezed out of her fingertip.
When you say just a little short, we're talking 2 inches further, and she had that basket made over the inside of the rim. But we've been talking about it all day, Chad. The pace of this game has been something else. It has been breakneck speed here at Alumni Hall by both squads, and certainly that fatigue has got to be setting in the legs of the players for both the Mustangs and the Badgers.
Well, and you see that the fact that Brock has been playing 10 players consistently. Now with Letty out of the ball game, Western's really only playing 6 or 7, so it is starting to catch up on them a little bit. What you need to do here now, if you're Western, it's 20 seconds left in the game. You're going to need to foul because shot clock's not your friend anymore. So what you want to do is you want to try and, in your pre-scouting, you know who the weakest foul shooters are for the Brock Badgers, and you want to try and get the ball in their hands. Definitely keep it out of Gorgeous's hands, for sure, because she's the hot hand today. And look at trying to foul somebody that's a low free throw percentage.
And certainly some options present themselves out there. Gorgeous, not one of them, as you say, shooting 83% on the season. However, Jessica Del Senor, who has been out there, still is wearing number 23, shooting only 57%. Devin Kunick, not much better, only shooting 66% on the season. Ball inbounds to Stewart. Stewart fouled, and she will go to the line. Stewart, unfortunately, one of the ones that you don't want to put there. She is 82% on the season. And pardon me, that was a foul to give there for the Mustangs. My apologies, fans. Those of you more informed at home than I am, I'm sure that was one foul to give. And they'll try to work it back into Stewart, and there she is. No foul there. Kunick able to get back in bounds, and Kunick certainly somebody you don't mind putting up at the free throw line. 67% on the season in the ball games through 3 quarters, had not attempted a free throw. So we'll see if the season stats hold up right here. Devin Kunick at the line. Chance to put just a little more of a cushion between themselves and the Mustangs. The Badgers ahead by 2, 64-62, 17 seconds left. As the fans here, the gym's filling up even more right now. And watching Kunick miss that first of 2. At best, it will be a 3-point lead for the Mustangs. Coach, do you hold for one shot if you're the Mustangs, or do you score as quick as you can and play more defense?
Try and get a basket as quick as you can.
Missed by Kunick, she's 0 for 2. Anderson pushing back against Kunick right there, works to the middle, looking for the quick shot, not coming. Parks driving hard, goes up, count the basket. Tie game, chance to put the Mustangs ahead from the free throw line.
Just a great job by Amanda Anderson, drawing the defense. Lauren Parks seeing the opportunity, slashing to the basket, and nice soft finish as she's getting hit for the foul.
Lauren Parks will go to the free throw line with a chance to put the Mustangs ahead in this ball game with only 7.5 seconds left here at Alumni Hall. The crowd will be silent as Parks lines up her one and only attempt. It's up. No good. Rebound fought for. Both Mallon and Gorgeous fighting for it. Arrow in favor of the Badgers. 5.9 seconds left in a tie ball game here at Alumni Hall. Kunick inbounding the ball, Parks marking her, making sure they touch right away. Mallon going hard after the ball. The Mustangs have to be careful here. They are in the penalty situation. You don't want to get called for something silly with only 5.9 seconds left. The officials making sure that the appropriate time on the clock. Coach Barry was all over that one, saying, wait a minute, guys, no time had expired. How is that possible when a ball is put in bounds and touched by a player? There was a good second differential there between the time that a ball was touched by a player and it went back out of bounds. So the clock has been run down. 5.2 seconds now showing on the game clock. Kunick with the ball, inbounds to Stewart. Stewart with the ball. Mallon tries to tie her up. Parks trying to tie her up. Hand off to Parks. Parks nearly got the steal right there to create an opportunity. However, it is now, time has expired. Coach Barry right there out on the court trying to get a hold of his players, reining them in. 64 apiece. We're going to overtime.
Well, the problem there, the reason Coach Barry's freaking out is because Meg Mallon was trying to foul. She didn't know what the score was. She didn't know what the score was. She was trying to foul as soon as the ball came in. And fortunately for her, she missed. And the referees didn't call it even after she's on the referees to call the foul. Coach Barry wanted to reel her in and make sure that she understood what the score was in the ballgame.
Almost a catastrophic mistake, but we'll take a quick break and come on back with overtime action here at Alumni Hall. I was wondering, why was she being so freaking aggressive? 5 fouls. Oh, my God. Wow. 1 minute to back, 1 minute to the game. Yeah. Okay, I'll intro and let you go with that again. Yeah.
Couldn't we replay the Lauren Parks basket too?
Overtime action here at Alumni Hall, 64 apiece here between the Mustangs and the Badgers. And we're going to take a look again, Chad, at something you picked up on at the end of the ball game.
Well, Meg Mallon, fortunate here that she didn't get called on the foul. She was trying to foul, but sort of missed the player. They would have, fortunate that they didn't get the call, because that would have put Brock at the free throw line. Here we go. Lauren Parks, unfortunately, missing the free throw that would have won the game for them. But, you see it from time to time. Players get caught up in the moment. They don't really understand where the game's at. Like, she's got to know in that situation that it's a tie ball game.
64 apiece. Mustangs with the first possession of overtime. It is a 5-minute overtime that we're playing here in the OUA. That's Molden with the ball off to Anderson. Anderson finds Parks inside, and an early foul call, the hold on Lauren Stewart, who can't believe it, and that'll put Parks to the line as both teams remain in the penalty.
Yeah, Lauren Parks 0 for 5 from the free throw line today, unfortunately. 67 for 65% for the year. These are two big free throws that she really needs to make here to get her team on top.
And you just hope that missed free throw at the end of the game isn't lingering in her mind. Obviously not on that first one, as it is good. Puts the Mustangs in front 65-64 here in overtime. Just a reminder, fans, coming up immediately following this game, we do have men's basketball action between the Badgers and the Mustangs coming up right at the conclusion of this fantastic overtime contest. There's Stewart lifting the ball, no good. Moss with the rebound attempt, last touched by the Badgers. And the good work by Moss paying off. Mustang possession. 1 point lead for the Mustangs, as Parks was only 1 for 2 there from the line. 1 make in 7 attempts on the ball game, as you mentioned there, Chad. Taking a look at a couple of the other standout statistical leaders. Amanda Anderson, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. But let's not forget those 25 points she's had on the afternoon. And there's his Becky Williams up at the top, securing the loose ball on an errant pass. She'll find Anderson curling at the top. Anderson working against Peg. Parks with the screen and roll. Anderson coming back to the middle. Has to put up a tough one, but instead tried to drop it in to Parks for the quick move, and she traveled, hopping her way through that pass attempt. Looking over at the statistical leaders for the Badgers through 4 quarters of play. Whitney Gorgeous having herself a beautiful game. 17 points on the afternoon to go with 5 boards and 4 assists. Doing her best to lead the Badgers to the upset road win. And here is Peg having a great afternoon herself. Puts up the 3, no good. Peg already good for 10 points in the ball game to go along with 2 assists, but countless other defensive plays that have really kept this team in the ball game.
Mismatch inside. Parks got Peg on her back. Couldn't get her the ball, unfortunately.
That is Anderson with the ball. Finds Parks up top. Parks working hard. Finds Anderson on the kick out. Anderson puts it up. Anderson puts it down. 4-point lead for the Mustangs, 3.5 to play in overtime. That is a quick move by Kunick, breaking back right there for the Badgers, putting the crowd back in their seats. Molden.
4 for 7 from the 3-point line, Amanda Anderson is, but as we talked about, Brock, 2 passes down the floor, lay up the other end. They'll catch you sleeping if you don't get back on defense.
Anderson came into the game 3rd in the OUA, averaging 18.3 points a game. She's got 28 already this afternoon, trying to lead these Mustangs to victory. Gorgeous puts one up from outside, gets her own rebound, looking for the reverse. No contact as she was looking for a call right there. She looks to the ceiling in disgust. Ball out of bounds off the back of the backboard.
Just a great pace still. Brock still pushing the pace. Now, some of these players have been out here for the better part of the last 3 minutes of the game and the first 2 minutes in overtime. So Brock's starting to look a little bit more tired, not making quite the same decisions that they did earlier in the game, and still finding themselves down by 2 at this point.
And this is a point in the game, Coach, where one would typically expect the Stars to take over and lead their team to victory. So it is Gorgeous and Anderson who we will be keying on down this stretch. There is Parks with the ball, hand off to Molden. Molden able to work the right baseline, pulls back out. Parks trying to drop into position in the post. Finds Williams rotating up to the top. Williams will have to go one-on-one with the shot clock expiring. Goes left side looking for contact. Finds nothing but the shot clock right there. Turnover once again by the Mustangs. And the turnovers, Coach, still the story of the ball game. By my count, that is 47 turnovers in the ball game.
And that's going to happen when you do have a high pace like this. Rebecca going hard to the basket. Great defense there by the Brock player not to grab the foul. Rebecca maybe want to finish with a left hand there next time, but good aggressive move late in the shot clock.
There is Gorgeous, ball in her hands off to Koenig. Koenig works it over to Woodside, who puts it up, no good from three, but Gorgeous tips it back to Peg with the rebound.
Brock very active on the offensive end, getting a lot of second opportunities here in overtime. They've got to bury one, though, here to get back in this ball game.
Gorgeous with the ball working against Anderson, screened off of Gorgeous, gets a wide open look, able to elevate and get her own rebound. Gorgeous is going to the line for a couple of freebies, getting rewarded for great work.
Well, 3 opportunities on the offensive end that ends in a defensive foul. Something that Coach Sy is going to be really happy with his girls, with their tenaciousness and being relentless on the offensive board, allowing their best player to get to the free throw line to tie this ball game.
Gorgeous at the line right now, already 17 points, 7 boards, and 4 assists on the ball game, shooting almost 50% from the field. Add to that, she's having a great day at the free throw line. 2 of 3 from three-point land as well. Whitney Gorgeous bringing star power for the Brock Badgers today. 2 of 2. We are tied all over again. 2 minutes to play in overtime. 68-68 the score.
And this is tough. You'd like to have Caitlin Letty in this situation to be able to go inside to her. Unfortunately, fouling out in the last 2 minutes of the game. Now we need Lauren Parks and Rebecca Moss to step up on the inside, as Lauren's already done at the end of the ball game.
And talking about stepping up, there's Amanda Anderson with the ball in her hands. 28 points on the afternoon. Parks with the screen, trying to free up Anderson for some space. Moss looking to dump into Parks with the double team from Peg. Finds Molden cutting. Terrific for Molden with the basket. That comes off the recognition of the double team on Parks.
That's a great read by Kelly Molden, seeing that her man left. She snuck in behind her when her man turned her head the other way. Kelly snuck the other way and stayed on the ball. Great pass by Parks, in for the easy layup.
70-68, Mustangs on top. Stewart looking for help. Koenig with the ball, driving against 4 Mustangs. Peg loads it up. Air ball, Stewart with the wild rebound, wild shot attempt. Nothing doing there. And here we have Coach Barry begging for the shot clock violation. The referees saying no, the foul did occur just prior to the horn going off. Stewart at the line with a pair of free throws and a chance to tie this game.
Very close, very close. I think it was maybe just a little bit before the buzzer went off, but definitely, he's got to voice his opinion on that one.
Stewart not having herself a great ball game here this afternoon, but that is her 3rd free throw make that 4 of 6 in the ball game for Stewart. Coming back in is Mackay for the Badgers. Moss will take the ball out of bounds for the Mustangs. Becky Williams coming back in for Sarah Mallon for the Mustangs.
Looks like going a little offense, defense here on both teams for their substitutions.
Moss gets it to Williams in the corner, back to Molden. Now Molden will run the offense. She's able to get a step on Del Senor. Parks rubbed her off with a good screen at the top. Parks got to watch that off arm. She's clearing space, takes it hard! And you called it right there, Coach. You saw as soon as she had the step, you knew that finish was coming.
Yeah, Lauren's so quick for her size at 6'1" or 6'2". She's concealer check off on her left hip, spin back quickly the other way. She's not going to miss that finish on the right side very often. If you're a defensive player, you really want to force her to the left as much as you can. Great finish by Lauren. She's just got to make a free throw now.
And that's the thing right there, Chad, is that the free throws have really been a story of this ball game, and especially for Lauren Parks. Did have the opportunity at the end of the ball game, only 7 seconds on the clock, had an opportunity to make a free throw to win the game for the Mustangs, essentially win the game for the Mustangs. Did not convert, but she's gone back to the line a couple of times here in overtime and has made good 1 of 2 in this overtime frame. On the ball game now, she is having trouble looking at my stats. Now there she is, looking like she is 1 for 7.
And free throw percentage for the game is, like we said before, Brock's 53% and Western's only 43%. Numbers that elementary school teams would not be proud of, but say it's a physical game, it's a fast game. When you get to the free throw line, that's kind of your only break to get a breather. Let's see if Lauren can put the team up by 3.
Couple of big ones here right now. 72-70 the score, 1 minute, 7 seconds remaining. And there is the hoop by Parks. Make that the 3-point play, 73-70. Kunick with the ball for the Badgers. 1 minute to play in overtime. Gorgeous with the ball on the right side, brings it up top, finds Mackay cutting up high. Mackay thinking she might spin back on Parks. Parks not having it, but Woodside lifts up the three ball, no good. Gorgeous with the rebound. Kunick thought about three against Mallon. Elects to hand off to Woodside, peels around the screen, knocks down the deuce. 42 seconds left, 1 point lead for the Mustangs.
Nice job by Woodside getting square to the basket. Nice mid-range jump shot. Western really needs to clean up the offensive boards, finding it a struggle without Letty inside there and her rebounding pressure.
Anderson with the Park screen, high-low action. Mackay doing a nice job of jamming the cut by Parks. Ball inside to Lauren. Lauren working hard to the baseline, gets it off the rim, and the foul called on the Badgers. That looks like it's going against Gorgeous, who reached in there, got a hand on the shooter, and Parks will go to the line once again.
Well, we'll see this again. It looks like Lauren Parks may have got away with an offensive foul there. Oh, I don't know about that. I think Coach Sai's got a beef there, because it doesn't look like, yeah, there's no foul there. Yeah, well, I guess that makes up for the Amanda Anderson call it center there.
Parks good on the first one. The Coach Sai was talking to you before the game, Chad, and I know that was one coach talking to another, but he was pretty honest in saying that, I am in my first year, and I do recognize that some of the calls that the veteran coaches get, they will not be coming my way until I'm a little more experienced.
Yeah, and that would kind of feed the legend off of that play.
8 seconds to play now. Three-pointer up by Woodside. It's good. And the Brock Badgers are in front by a single point. Confusion at the sideline as Coach Barry had a timeout waiting at the table. It was not whistled in time. He runs all the way up to the front court. Finally gets the call made. 6 seconds on the clock. Badgers in front by 1.
Huge three-pointer by Woodside with, looks like Mallon out in her face. Just a clutch three-point shot. She was the player that came down, hit a nice two the possession before, so obviously Coach Sai going with the hot hand.
And now 6 seconds on the clock. I'm going to ask you to put that referee hat on for us one more time. Coach Barry calls a timeout. Given the FIBA rules, he's now allowed to advance the ball to half court out of the timeout.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so FIBA rules, you get the last 2 minutes of the basketball game or in overtime, you get to advance the ball to half court. And I think what you're going to see here, obviously, you want to get the ball into Amanda Anderson's hands in the last 6 seconds. Whether they're going to have her inbound the ball and run off a couple screens or set a screen for her to come get the ball, that's for Coach Barry to decide. But definitely Amanda Anderson's going to determine whether this game's won or lost in the last 6 seconds.
6 seconds to play. Badgers up by 1. Mustang possession at the half-court line. And let's not forget, Chad, we are in the penalty situation here, of course. Any contact, any foul called by the officiating crew will send the Mustangs to the free throw line. If you want to remove some suspense, do you think Coach Sai has given any thought to just fouling Parks off the ball?
Not a chance. Not when you're only down by 1. If you're up by 3, maybe. If you're up by 1, not a chance.
Expect them to go hard to the basket now. Force the call here. Here's Parks, hands off to Molden. Molden dribbling between 2 defenders. Up and in. 1 second left on the clock. Here is the prayer from Peg. Waved off. No good. Mustangs win.
What a great job by Kelly Molden. Slashing through the defense. Left-hand layup. What a great job by the Western Mustangs pulling out that game.
And the Western Mustangs elated, stealing victory from the jaws of defeat. One more look at the last second play.
And Coach, there's great strong move, but great left-handed layup. Soft off the glass. Great job by Kelly Molden. Good job by Western. Lauren Parks with the handoff. Actually, Amanda Anderson was more of a decoy in that play, so good on Coach Barry for that. Great finish by Kelly Molden. What a great job for her in front of this big Alumni Hall crowd.
I got to tell you, Chad, what better way to honor Teresa Carriere and her one-run campaign than to have such a stellar basketball game here at Alumni Hall. It was defense, it was heart, it was hustle, and it was a last-second play to win, something that I know Coach Carriere would be oh so proud of. Just before we take a quick break and come back with Mustang men's basketball action, let's take a look at a couple of our upcoming broadcasts. Tough to compare with the terrific terrific game that you saw here already today on Rogers TV. But you know, anytime you tune into the Mustangs, you're going to see some of the best athletes in the country wearing the purple and white. We've got men's hockey coming at you. The UOIT Ridgebacks, the same ones who defeated the Mustangs last night, snapping their 16-game winning streak 6-4 here in London. They will be back on the ice next Saturday. Speaking of back, we will be coming back to you on Wednesday, January 27th, as the Waterloo Warriors come to town for doubleheader basketball action. Both men's and women's squads will be in action at Alumni Hall that night for both hockey and basketball events. Please visit www.westernmustangs.ca for all your ticketing information. 76-75, Kelly Molden wins it at the buzzer for the Western women's basketball program. Don't go anywhere, fans. We're coming back with Mustang men's basketball action coming up next here on Rogers TV.